get it.
What?
Scat.
Get it.
Don't fucking quote him.
Who am I quoting? I forgot.
It's fucking Lil Pump, isn't it?
I don't know.
I have no idea either. We're not versed in rap.
To be fair, we're not versed in very much.
No.
The best.
Not even D&D, it seems.
Yeah,
No. None of us are good at D&D.
we just wing it most of the time. As we welcome you back to Twisted Fates, another session where we will most likely be winging it. Although in saying that, Paul, someone has actually called you out for being bad at D&D.
I'm surprised it took them that long.
I mean, it is Andrew, so, you know.
I've played D&D with Andrew.
Andrew, you're watching
called
this.
me. Hi, Andrew. You're on episode 3 right now, so
Oh,
we'll see
that's
you in
trippy.
we're gonna see you in like 4 weeks.
Hi in 17 weeks.
Specifically just to Andrew, since we know where he is time-stamped.
But I've played D&D with Andrew. He knows I'm bad in person.
Yeah, but
Why
he
does
just,
he-
But he's
just wanted to
he's
call
nice
you out
enough
for
not
it.
to say it.
He wanted the world to know.
Yes. As if the
He's
world
nice
doesn't
enough to
already
not
know.
say it.
No.
We come back to our game of D&D, not episode 3, we are now on episode 25, session 25. We're kind of at the
Fuck, are we
halfway
still?
point, give or take, and we're still fucking here, which is impressive.
Not a single arc has been fulfilled yet.
And we've
Well-
kind of got your arc, like, you kind of had a resolution with your sister, kind of, she died, so that kind of counts.
But I
That
didn't get
counts.
to do it. I wasn't even alive when it happened.
Yes, Paul, that's what you get for being a boy and dying.
But today we will be jumping into some combat, as last session the boys left Kinreen on quite a sour note. Half the village was infected with this magical disease that seems to be following them around, this blight, and Eidolon kind of put it to the party that he could have the issue dealt with by sending for the first defense for the extermination squad that comes from Aramba to at least clear out the infection and hopefully leave the uninfected alone. It was a little awkward. Then getting
he
Ranagash
said,
to write a
like
letter.
a liar. He said, like a liar.
Yeah. Well, there was that, and also the fact that you would have written to have the injured exterminated and then realised, fuck, that also includes Ranagash's mum. So...
Oh, everyone's gonna die. They just need to get used to it.
But you did thankfully advise Ranagash to at least write a letter as well, trying to, well, at least get his mum out of the firing line. So we'll see how that goes in the interim. But when you did leave, you guys had an interesting travel on the road. Your first kind of day getting into your first night on the road to Thornsgard, where Markusar was pulled away from camp by the mysterious brand upon his arms, into the woods to meet Gaerdrah, where they had a rather interesting conversation. One of Paul's friends is dead. He has 3 friends left.
Well, I've got these guys as well.
Yeah, but he's not
No,
going
you
to
don't.
kill them. At least not at the
Yet.
moment.
But they don't consider themselves friends.
But when that meeting concluded, it kind of came to an end, came to a head, and Markusar left Gaerdrah in the woods. Gaerdrah left him with a little surprise. When the projection faded and finally disappeared, which leads our boys to the combat for today, 2 of the werewolves, the Blighted werewolves that they fought in the basement of the Lord's Manor in Westcross, were left behind when all their portions of the projection faded, leaving Markusar to run wildly back through the woods, bumping into Eidolon, and then running wildly back out of the woods, leaving Eidolon behind to stall them, to fetch Ranagash and Wolfric, where you boys all reconvened just as Eidolon's Arms of the Astral Self activated. The wolves have already taken some damage. They've taken 9 damage each from your Arms of the Astral Self, and sadly top of initiative order isn't my boys. Though in saying that, you have a pretty okay initiative line. You're still not great, but it's still better than you normally roll, boys. Matthew, do you remember what your portents are for today?
They are 8, 12, and 10.
Yep. You are very
Oh,
middle of
yeah.
the road today.
Yeah.
As I get to go first as one of the 2 wolves. And technically,
I poked them.
Eidolon, you are not only poking them, but you are also closest.
Come on, little bitch boy.
This is the only time I actually hit you. Nope.
Yeah. Oh. Did it hit me? Or did it not hit me?
The highest is a 16.
Okay, so none of them
So
hit.
none of them hit you.
Don't even need to shield.
It's okay, I remember not to assume that you shield, even though when I ask you shield anyway, like a little shit.
I need to expend the resource.
As Markusar, you see as one of the wolves kind of lunges forward, jumping through Eidolon's tendrils and attempts to attack him. It misses, kind of almost wrapped up in the blighted tendrils. It is now your go. What do you do?
So last time Gaerdrah was not happy that I helped.
He said that he didn't mind you helping with the crystals and the blighted creatures. He wasn't happy that you cured Frida.
That thing, okay. Because my initial thing to do, without directly harming them, was to use plant growth to slow them down. But now one of them is right in our fucking face.
Well,
so
it's right in Eidolon's face. You guys are
You
still
guys are
about.
quite a bit back
You
from
guys
me.
are about 5-10 feet away from Eidolon. They're right in Eidolon's face, and he
Yeah,
has the
then
movement
maybe-
speed to compensate.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast.
Running around at the speed of sound.
I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. Alone on a Friday night? God, you're pathetic.
That's pretty good Sonic. I'm gonna do. If I've caught up to them, hold on. Let me check the wording of the spell so I don't do something bad. Just hang fire.
Paul has to think about what he has to do in D&D.
I know. I've never really do this. It's usually just hit shit.
I've also possibly overloaded you with spells as well, which is another thing.
Yeah, I have a lot of spells.
Because you have what? Your expanded spell list from Druid, your normal spell list, and you have your Mark of the Undying spells.
It affects everyone within range. That would include Eidolon. Though I think he'd win it, but I won't do it anyway. Let me find another spell. I should have planned this.
You knew we were starting with combat.
But I kind of forgot. At first, I thought I was going to go first, not the wolves.
No, you were 15, wolves were 18. Or one of the wolves was 18.
Well, let's go for another one in mind. Could I cast Entangle in such a way that would get the wolves and not Eidolon? 20-foot square.
Yeah, because you could basically project it so that it's behind. The centered point is behind the wolf that's currently attacking him.
Yes, well then I would like to do that.
Strength save.
They must. Yes, a strength saving throw. From both of them, I suppose.
24 and 25.
Never mind. They both succeed.
These things are definitely a lot stronger than the projections that you fought in the basement. Probably because these aren't really projections.
Yeah, okay, fair. Point taken.
Fighting the real boys.
I guess I'll hold my. That'll be my turn. No bonus action or anything.
Not a cheeky wee healing word since she lost 32 HP last time.
I lost 32 HP.
Paul!
Shut up.
Paul!
I didn't review the sheet.
I mean, I'm glad I said something, but also I feel like I shouldn't have said anything now.
No,
Yeah,
stop helping him.
Okay. I'm gonna healing word myself, please.
That's probably a good idea. I feel like that's a good option, Paul. Well thought.
Actually, no. I'll cure wounds myself.
Action.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
not.
it's-
You need to use a bonus
bugger.
action.
Healing word. I'm so bad at D&D. Andrew's gonna be so mad at me.
In 17 weeks.
Hang on, wait, can't you not cast a spell?
So entangle is an action, so he can't use
Yeah.
another action.
No, I was saying, can
One
you
was
not?
2
You-
level spells in 1 round.
You can't usually double cast, but I don't mind.
Okay.
As long
Are
as
you
you're
saying you don't mind because it's me?
no,
Or because
I'm
that's your general
I
rule?
genuinely don't mind because you already have to manage action economy as a spellcaster. That you're kind of useless if your main mode is spell casting, and you can only cast one spell a turn.
Well, you can do a cantrip and a spell as a bonus
That is
action.
true. But as long as you're as long as you're doing the rule of one is an action and one is a bonus action, I don't mind.
Oh, did you really just ask about your own cantrips?
I haven't used a cantrip in, I want to say, like 10 or 15 sessions.
Did you roll, by the
I'm
way,
going-
Paul?
I'm sorry?
Did you roll, by the way?
No.
Oh, sorry, I saw your thing pop up and then nothing happened. So.
Hey, that's almost the full 20. That's cool.
Yeah, but when it comes to spellcasting, as long as you're working by the rules of the spell as an action and the other spell as a bonus action, I don't really care which levels they are, because, well, it kind of gives you the same utility as points to Craig and Ewan on the top row.
Marshall, go big hit.
Considering all the shit that you you two can do.
Bonk.
It's the end of my turn. I'll try not to make my turns last as long this time.
20 to hit you, Craig.
I will shield.
That's not very poggers.
Cool. The
So
other
more
two,
just ducking out of the way of whatever it does.
the other two attacks don't hit you, as you're able to dodge out of the way of its claws, and as it jumps down to bite you, you activate your shield. To which case it is now your go. There are two wolves in front of you, not inside of you.
Markusar, did you pass me my sword yet?
No, he didn't.
Alright, cool. I have
Forward.
fists. Some more ducking out of the
Markusar,
way.
where's my sword?
Markusar, where's the sword?
Where's
Some more ducking out of the way of like the
where's
bite.
my sword?
More ducking out of the way of the bite that comes in, taking a step back, and then just taking the tendrils. And I'm gonna make 4 attacks, so key point. But it's all going to be summed up essentially as one punch.
Yep. One Punch Man.
I can't scream that loud.
I mean, you can. It's only us in the flat.
D20 plus 7. Nope, 8. Fair enough. So that is.
Nat 20 and the 25 will hit. The 14 and the 12 will miss.
Okay. I could increase that 14 to try and hit. I don't know these things AC. So I won't risk it for now. I'll just roll damage. So this is the non-crit first.
Okay. All to the same dude.
Yes, this is just to one of them. That's 13 damage to the first. 13 damage, and then this is the crit. So that's 13 plus 26.
See, you don't even need the sword.
I would like it!
Next turn.
Yeah, okay, so how far am I from the things?
10 feet.
Can I extend that to 40 feet, please?
Going back the way.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Coward.
No. I don't. Which one was the sides twice again, Paul?
Not my fault. Actually, one of the deaths was because I ran away.
Yeah, and you also rolled 2 below 10s on an advantage death save.
Anyway, enough
Thanks
of
for the
roasting
reminder.
Paul. Enough of roasting Paul. I'm gonna cast a fancy new spell.
Oh?
So I'll take out my rune of whatever the hell and summon a familiar ball of fire, but rather than letting it explode, it would condense and just collapse and surround the one that Eidolon has whacked as I cast Immolation. Can I get a dex save, please?
Inflation!
Yeah?
Yes!
I need
Kill!
I wanted more single target spells. And
Immolation's
really like
just
fire.
Fireball, but better.
I've never
Yeah.
even heard of this spell.
It's a very good fire spell. Is that as a 16?
Oh, that just passes. Okay, it still takes half.
It still
Takes the
damage.
damage.
Not
So
on
it
fire,
takes
sadly.
14 fire damage, and then unfortunately it is not set on fire. But that's fine.
Damn it.
Damn.
And then
Nothing worse
No
when you
bonus.
do a cool spell and nothing happens.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
we're really just ripping into him tonight, huh?
When do we not?
You know
I mean,
what?
yeah, but-
Of all nights, I've deserved it the most tonight.
But yeah, that's. I got no bonus action. I got the hell out of dodge. I'm good. That's me.
Wolfric.
Let's go. Alright. So how close are two of them?
10 feet.
Are they like grouped together?
10 feet together, Eidolon's in front of them.
Would I be able to get them into a 30-foot cube that doesn't hit Eidolon?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna try. Okay, so today's the session trying new spells. So I'm also gonna try a new spell.
You with your magic, people.
Wolfric takes out his axe and he holds it sideways, like the axe blade's facing sideways, and he starts spinning it. And the light begins to spin and spin and spin, and eventually, like, kind of circle into the center, into a 30-foot cube encompassing the two werewolves, and I cast Hypnotic Pattern. So can they both get wisdom saves, please?
They can't keep passing the steps. And
They will eventually fail a save. Possibly. We'll see. They do get a bonus to wisdom. I think that's probably one fail? A 16 and a 12.
That's one fail.
that's a fail, though.
That's a fail. Nothing happens to the one that passes, but the one that fails is charmed, incapacitated, and its speed is now 0.
It's pretty fucking cool.
I enjoy Hypnotic Pattern. I've used it a couple times in different campaigns, but I like that Wolfric now has access to it.
Does it end early if we damage them, or?
It does, however, this buys us time to focus down one of them.
Yeah.
Which one failed in that case?
The non-damaged one.
Cool, let's fuck up the damaged one then.
So you essentially have 10 turns to kill the damaged one.
Unless Ewan loses concentration.
Unless you...
That shouldn't be a problem.
Ewan loses concentration.
Nice.
Wolfric is gonna move a bit closer and end his turn.
How much closer? Like 10 feet closer?
Like, yeah, we'll go 5 feet closer.
That's fair. As for Eidolon,
Hello.
a 19, a 23, and a 23 to hit.
So with the first one, take my hand, essentially bat the claw away, as I'll cast shield again. That makes my AC 22, so the other two will hit.
As it claws into you, you're able to dodge out of the way of that. However, the other claw is able to attack you, grab onto you, and then tendrils erupt from it. Ow. I drop dice on me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's my other D4? There it is. 2, 3. This makes me happy. Can you give me a Constitution saving throw whilst I'm doing the math?
Ewan, what's your bonus?
+4.
Nice. Let's play 5.
Cool, so you pass. So you are not poisoned. However, you do take 39 damage.
You still take the damage.
Oh, please heal me.
I have a better thing I wanted to do with my turn.
As the tendrils wrap around you, and you are not restrained or incapacitated, but it's more for the aesthetic value.
I'm gonna fucking kill this bitch.
As Paul, what's that cool thing you wanted to do on your turn, or do you want to heal Eidolon?
I have three things I need to do. Throwing Eidolon the sword.
Don't need that anymore.
We don't need that anymore.
I need health more than my sword.
Well, would throwing the sword be an action or a bonus action?
Action.
It'll be an action. All right. Well, I toss him the sword and I hit him with a healing word. At what level though? What does he deserve from me? How bad you looking?
On a scale of 0 to 82, 43.
All right. Very good. Okay. Let's. I'll give you this much.
As you also now have your sword
that's
as well,
working
Eidolon.
And you have the sword.
As your sword has been thrown to you. So you can catch it if you want.
That. No, because I've already used my reaction.
Sadness for shield.
Oh, the sword is just at your feet, you didn't catch it.
You can still catch it, you just can't do anything with it. It's just, he has it now.
But what about the
My
cool
hand.
move we did, Eidolon? Can you not do it again?
No.
Drop shield.
Today.
Drop shield.
No! I've already used my reaction.
This one can't go. Craig.
Alright. Were the tendrils a ranged attack, by the way?
Yes.
I'll need to keep that in mind.
As will I.
So that means I can. Because that means I need to deflect missile. It means I can deflect missiles them. More with the sword in hand, now having it right in front of me. I'm going to just make 4 attacks again, but the first 2 are instead going to be with the sword.
Okay.
So, give you some rolls. So that's a 26 and a 27 to hit with the sword,
Both will hit.
and then a 11 and a 12 with the unarmed attacks.
Both will miss.
Wow, how shockingly abhorrent. 10 plus. Oh my, that's an amazing amount of damage. So it takes 32 points of slashing damage, and as I do so, can it please make me a Constitution saving throw?
It can.
Probably pass.
14.
It fails. So essentially, cutting through with 1 slash, essentially carving open its stomach a bit, and then taking a step forward, instead slashing down to almost carving like an X symbol into its torso. And then instead of the unarmed strikes striking out, dealing damage, they instead, 2 of the tendrils worm their way into the creature as Eidolon just clenches his fist and it goes rigid as it is stunned.
Matthew.
You want me to make another perception check, or do we want to use the one I just made?
I'll get you to make another one and then I'll essentially run it as disadvantage because you're now 40 feet away from combat.
One lower.
It's 1 lower. Yeah, you're now frightened.
Okay.
You think he's already running away?
Well, positives, it won't affect him too much in combat, in theory. Although in saying that, it's up to Matthew how he wants to personify Ranagash now being frightened. As not so much the sound of it, but you kind of get the sound along with the sight of Eidolon once again carving a body open, or the obsidian sword carving a body open.
Right, okay, so it is my turn, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, step 1 is, again, probably another 30 feet away, which would put me at 70. And then, like, what are the exact, what's the, can't move closer, and you have a disadvantage, but it's in your sight, so I'll just follow that for now.
Yeah.
I'll leave the roll for after combat. So, I'll do another new spell, because I actually found that I do have something to do with my bonus action. So I will,
Finally.
again, I will take out another rune, similar but different rune, and sort of hold it up, and rather than flame, 6 tiny meteors begin orbiting Ran. Before one streaks out, yeah, and lands at a point like just behind them, if that makes sense. So, do we want to do, if it would normally have disadvantage as a saving throw, do we want to give them advantage on the save for thematics? If that makes sense. Or like,
It's a dex save, it automatically fails because it's stunned.
Yeah, the one's
Oh, yeah.
stunned and one's incapacitated, so it
Okay,
doesn't
so
matter
then-
which one you take, they both automatically fail.
Take the
it's-
stunned one, and then we can all essentially surround and gang up on the
Yeah.
one that's incapacitated.
This is
how
the
close
thing.
are they together?
5 feet. They're
Like how-
square apart, essentially,
Wolf, square, wolf.
roughly, or like wolf, half a square wolf.
Okay. I don't know if I can angle it so I can get both of them, but not either one. So I'll just play it safe and take the stunned one.
This is the worst thing about you guys in terms of like you don't deal a lot of damage, but the amount of status afflictions that you guys actually inflict upon things is stupid.
So
Let's just not let the GM play the game.
So slash R 2d6. So it takes 7 fire damage, and then with my bonus action, I'll throw another one, and then so another 2d6.
Forced damage.
8. So there we go. 15 fire damage, and that's Yeah, that's my whole turn.
As Ewan, it is Wolfric's go. One is stunned
Right.
and one is incapacitated.
He's gonna run up to the stunned one and make 2 attacks.
Yeah.
So it's
This is perfect.
our 2d20 or 2d20 KH1 plus 8.
That is a miss. I have never had a party that inflicts as much status conditions upon things as you guys. That will hit, however.
Okay,
Smack it.
11 points of radiant damage.
That's a satisfying number.
Bring the axe down with the first hit, and then he kind of rights himself and straight across the chest with his next axe.
When does your stun drop again, Craig? It's the start of your turn, isn't it?
No, end of my next turn.
End of your next turn. That's fine. Doink. So it is now Paul's go, as I cannot act as the wolf.
I just skip the wolf's turns forever.
So which one are we all ganging up on?
The stunned one,
the
the
stunned
one I'm
one, the
holding
injured
place.
one. I mean, I say
Okay.
injured, it's not... It looks injured, but it looks still all looks alright.
That's
Okay.
fine for now.
Markusar would raise his sickle. It's like a silver sickle, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'd like to maybe think it was like maybe emitting like a very faint light, just very bright and stuff like that. Whereas you'd see now it's kind of like almost absorbing all light around it, and it's becoming very dark as I cast Blight on the stunned wolf. Does that not... Why? Why you put your head in your hands? Have I done something wrong?
You said it now.
Yeah,
There
you've
goes
said-
all our damage.
You've said it
There
now.
goes all our damage.
It's a necrotic spell.
Yeah. Oh
All these
shit.
creatures heal from necrotic damage.
Let's say I didn't do that then. Fuck,
You've
I
already said it,
You've
Paul.
already said it, Paul!
You've already said it.
This is the
Um,
first time this has happened, is it?
Nope, this has happened before. That's 8d8. Paul gets to roll 8d8.
and that is a 18. Pass or fail.
Oh, does it pass? I'm falling out my chair.
So if it...
It passes.
Cool, it takes half damage. So it'll heal half it'll only heal half.
Oh god, I'm an idiot. God.
Well, Paul, roll your 8d8.
I'm so annoyed at myself.
I should edit in the video. I'll need to remember to do this and just put the feature that all the blighted creatures have that allows them to regenerate acid, necrotic, and poison damage.
Oh god.
Paul,
No,
roll
I'm
your
like-
8d8.
Yeah, I'm genuinely annoyed at myself. I'm so bad at this fucking...
No, you can blame this one on me.
Also a waste of a decent spell.
It is.
Great, it was 4 ones. Can they just take the 4 ones?
No, it regains 13 health.
No, can it please just take the 4 ones? You say?
That didn't even undo like my meteors, so you're fine.
No.
Still. That was
Only
just
a mild.
bad. Bad at D&D.
That didn't heal for as much as your own healing word.
Oh, that's nice and motivational.
Either you're... No, let's not explore that.
Hey, at least your demonic sugar daddy will be happy with you now, Paul.
That is true.
Fuck's sake. I'm genuinely so fucking off myself.
It's almost
So
like all the spells Gaerdrah has given you access to are kind of useless against his creatures.
Never playing a caster again.
You wanted to play a bard, though.
That's really thrown me off. Don't know what else to do. I'll just, can I slash at it with my fucking sickle since that was useless?
Yeah, you can go up and slash it.
Okay.
With advantage.
Yeah, it will be with
With
advantage.
Okay.
And it's stunned.
Which means you're right up by Eidolon.
Yes. But I lose my proficiency.
Yep, so it's just strength. Just strength. Well, strength and moonsicle.
Yeah. That hits.
That
right?
hits!
Nice.
Sick.
Paul's so nervous
roll
now.
me a D4.
Let's undo some of that damage. Oh, I didn't roll.
I feel so bad for Paul right now. I honestly...
Don't.
It's just
Don't.
it's just not
He's
your day
straight
to
up
day.
not having a good time.
So in my whole turn, I healed it for 6. Or no, 8, sorry.
It's just, you know,
Great.
it's just not a good
It's-
day
he's-
for you.
He's method acting helping Gaerdrah. He needs to practice.
No, I'm just a bad player.
As
I don't read stuff through. I don't think.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 6. I get to do an action. Because it's been a minute.
Well, it's been a minute.
Actually, no, it's not. I lied to myself. I got excited.
It's been nowhere near a minute
Craig, it's
yet.
your shot. I've still got 4 turns left.
Nowhere near a minute.
I got sad.
So keeping it in place with the hand, it's just taking the sword, readying it, and just 4 attacks again. I'm being very generic here, very basic monk.
All with advantage.
And now they all have advantage.
I'll get to do something
remember-
eventually in this combat.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
Keep dreaming. So 21 to hit, 28 to hit, 16 to hit, and 25 to hit.
All will hit.
All will hit. Alright, so I'll roll net damage, aestheticizing it as essentially one massive like stab into the wound that the tendrils are in. 4d10 plus 4d6 plus 10 plus 8, so plus 18. It takes 40 points of damage.
I'll get to have fun eventually.
And can it give me another con save?
Fuck off.
No,
19.
that passes.
Yay, I get to do something next game. Next turn. Possibly next game,
Essentially
we'll see.
stabbing in, the tendrils sort of rupturing as the blade goes through them, spreading this forceful energy through it. I imagine it probably lets out quite a mighty roar to being stabbed that far into itself. As no one's on the other side of it, but the blade tears out the other side as he pulls it back through. As that is my turn.
Matthew.
Okay. First things first, I'm going to continue my tactical retreat. So I'm now at
We're getting further.
100 feet, which is fine because a lot of my spells have a range of like 120. So my action is just continue the fact that I'm just chucking a million things. Where's the spell? Where is it? Lost it. Where is it gone? There it is. Gonna cast Scorching Ray. So 3 rays of fire. Where's nothing? And all at disadvantage. Excellent. 2d20 KL1. Copy. Paste. Do any of those hit?
No.
Okay. And then I need dex save at advantage or just straight?
I'll give it straight because now it's now technically out of your line of sight.
Yeah.
Because your maximum line of sight would be 120 feet, give or take. To which case that is a fail on a 7.
Okay, yeah, so it takes 2d6. 6 as I drop another meteor. So that's 9 fire. Excellent. And that's my turn. It's nice having a bonus action.
Your ring gives you a bonus action.
It does, but it's nice having a bonus action that isn't just cheating.
How in the earth is the ring cheating?
Because it's just taking a spell that's an action and making it a bonus action. It's not actually having a bonus action.
Welcome to sorcerers.
Yeah, spellcasters.
Wolfric.
Let's go. 2 attacks, please.
Attacks, please, GM.
I would like to attack twice. That will not hit.
But AC is somewhere between 15 and 16.
That will hit.
Let's go.
One of you needs to roll a 15 and then you can find out.
Divine the Smite too?
Yes, please. I would like to divine smite. Okay, so here's the melee attack. Second level divine smite, please. So that is 4d8. But I re-roll those ones,
And the 2s?
And the 2s.
and I'll re-roll the 2. So that is, rather than 8, that is
18 damage?
That is 18.
That goes 3, 4, 5, 6 now, and that's very satisfying.
9.
So 9,
No?
26.
Yes.
27.
There we go. It's okay, I'm doing math. It's not looking great, but it's still looking pretty
Alive.
alright in comparison to some of you guys.
Alright. End my turn there.
Is I actually get to do something now. Yay.
For how long?
Shut up.
No.
Take advantage of this. Doesn't like Wolfric, doesn't like Eidolon. Doesn't hit any of you.
Ha ha ha.
Paul.
Wait.
Oh, Sentinel! Because Sentinel will proc because it's attacking Eidolon.
Yeah, Sentinel proc. Gonna make an attack. Yeah.
I keep forgetting you actually have Sentinel. That will hit.
Another second level Divine Smite.
Oh, that's depressing.
I'll re-roll that too, for the shits and giggles. That's 17 plus 7, 24. Because Sentinel doesn't say the attack has to hit, it just says they have to make
the
an
attack.
It's very similar to mobile, but mobile's in the sense if you attack hit or miss, you can run away with no opportunity attacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit or miss, I guess.
And that speed's now reduced to 0 as well, isn't it, Ewan?
Yep, so it can't move.
It's not like it's moving anyway, but it's just for my own notes. Paul. It's Markusar.
Well, considering I've done nothing to help the party except heal the enemy, I would like to conjure some beings that could actually do some damage. So I would like to conjure 8 wolves with conjure animals, if that's okay.
No, it's not.
It's not okay. Okay, I'll find another spell.
No, Paul, it is okay.
Paul, it's okay.
Paul, it was a joke.
Paul, it's sarcasm.
I know, but I'm too...
He's
I'm
very
too-
downtrodden today.
Paul could destroy Paul, rather than summoning 8 wolves, you could destroy the ground integrity beneath the wolves by summoning 8 badgers and getting them to dig.
Interesting. But I will stick with the wolves.
If I was a druid, I would do weird shit.
You're more imaginative than me. Markusar, on the other hand, is head empty. So yeah,
no,
I would like
no thoughts, only gaslight gatekeep girl boss.
exactly. So yeah, I would like to conjure 8 wolves.
Cool. They go before you in initiative, so they won't get a turn this round.
So I'll note that the way they look is, I don't know, they kind of don't look like what you'd imagine a wolf. Sunken eyes, almost like they're dying, but not dead. They're very like,
Stuck in
They
that
don't look
halfway
healthy.
life.
yeah, they're like mangy, you know? Like, I don't know. They look like creepy dogs. Like, you know, wolves, big, fluffy. These ones are not big and fluffy. Well, they can still be big, but they're not fluffy.
I mean, I can justify this, but I don't know how Wolfric will feel about seeing this.
Yeah.
Well, considering you guys have seen Markusar conjure animals before, and they've been relatively normal-looking animals, there's very little difference between the wolves that Markusar has conjured and the blighted wolves you guys faced way back at the beginning of your adventure. As what is your kind of, I guess, command to them for their turn, Paul? It doesn't require an action.
I would command them to attack both the wolves.
Cool.
Like, show them who's alpha.
As I'll split their health pools in 2 and do 2 groups of 4, because then it's easier for me to manage. As do you do anything else with your turn?
Needs healing.
I'm alright.
Eidolon, you looking good?
Like, I'm a lot better thanks to that last healing word. I'm still injured, but if you want to do something else with your turn, you're welcome to.
I have nothing else I can do.
I'll take the healing.
I'll attack the wolf again with my fucking sickle, why not? Is that still with advantage? No?
No. Because it's
Didn't
no
think
longer
so.
stunned. And I'm also no longer charmed.
Oh.
Yes.
So,
I am now excited. That will hit.
wait, 1 hit? Cool. Remember to roll it, Paul. 1d4 plus 2. Max damage. Big old 6 for the bitch.
I really need to
Have-
have more space for health when I write this shit.
Have the wolves attacked yet?
Nope.
No, they attacked before me.
They've got their own initiative roll.
Yeah. It's not an initiative roll like I have to roll and then it gets slotted in. It's just they just go to the bottom of the initiative. Yeah. Okay. No worries. They roll initiative for summoned creatures as a group, which has its own turns.
Yeah. So they go above you in initiative order, but they go after a wolf.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, fuck, I need to make a wisdom save. Yes, wisdom save DC 17. Which it fails. And then I need to make one attack, which is nat 20. Fuck. Okay. As what you, at least the two of you will see, because Ranagash is a little bit too far away to see this, being 120 feet away at this point. The wolves attempt to attack Markusar. You see the one that's just come out of your charm, come out of your hypnotic pattern, shake its head and kind of stare down at Markusar. Because you are the closest in range, it attempts to attack you, Markusar, and you watch as these veins that seem to run through its body, the thing that seems to emit some light from it, almost seem to spark and jolt as if it's almost being electrocuted by something. It goes to attack you and it stops dead with both of its claw attacks. It physically cannot hurt you. It cannot touch you. However, perhaps in frustration or something else, the wolf kind of reaches out, lashes out, roars to the heavens, and the tendrils erupt from its body. 10, 17, 21. Oh. Eidolon, you take 42 damage.
I've not used my reaction yet.
It was a nat 20.
Yes, but I can still lower the
You
damage.
can, because it's a ranged attack. Because it's
So I'm
tendrils.
going to. I'm not going to be able to lower it to nothing, but I'm still going to lower it. How much damage was it?
42.
Lower that, please, by 19.
Matthew.
Me too.
Actually, what it would be, is it would be lowering the damage before you double it if it's a crit.
Okay. I can do that.
Anyone?
So if I'm lowering it before it's doubled, before it becomes a crit, you take 10 damage total. No. Why can't I math? 10, 17, 21. Yeah, 10 damage. I was right.
This
No,
is a lot more
I'm wrong.
acceptable. Fucking give me my damage!
What's
Doubled it would
What
be
was
20
the-
damage. Fuck! I don't like math!
This is acceptable.
Be 20 damage, and can I get a constitution saving throw before I break down? Numbers hurt. How can you do this on the regular, Matthew?
That's a 15 on the con save.
Cool, that's a fail. You're now poisoned.
One more
And-
level and I'd be immune to this. One more level.
Okay, so I need to do an extra 1d6. Which is 4.
For what?
4 necrotic damage. As
To who?
to you. As
There we
now,
go.
in addition to being poisoned, whenever you take damage, you gain. That's not the right word. You take an additional 1d6 necrotic damage.
When I get
However-
to 11th level, I will be regaining.
The poison only sticks around until the end of your next turn, and that's not very long. As it's now your turn.
So first things first, bonus action dodge. So now any attack against me has disadvantage, and I have advantage on dex saves. However, I also still have my main action. There's no point not attack. Yeah, there's no point. Wait, was that dex save, by the way? No,
Con save.
I've not made a dex save this turn yet. Sorry, I'm just reading through my things, working out what I should actually do this turn.
It's okay, my head hurts. That was too much math for me.
So I'll just make 2 attacks. I know they're at a disadvantage, but there's no reason not to. 2d20 L1. So that is a 13 and a non-nat 20.
The non-nat 20 will hit, 13 will miss.
Again, no reason not to. That is 22 damage.
It is still up.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
As Matthew.
Okay, question I probably should have asked last round. Is there any way to not be frightened?
Technically, you can make the wisdom save at the moment because it's no longer in your sights. To try and calm down.
Okay.
But then you might have an issue when you get closer to it again.
Also, am I no longer poisoned?
You are no longer poisoned, yes, it's the end of your turn.
Fantastico.
Okay.
give you protection from poison, but it's fine.
No, I think I'm good. Well, maybe. We'll see. I'm on 36 hit points.
Start reaches. Okay, or I can use a spell that I've literally never used until now, and I probably should use.
Do it!
So if you remember, 4th level I took Magic Initiate Bard, and the spell I took at first level was Heroism.
No frightening allowed.
Yeah, I'm not frightened. So, cure a different, more defensive rune this time, because I don't want to set myself on fire by accident. That would be bad.
That would be bad.
And just steal myself for a moment as I'm just encased in these glowing, ethereal, nice golden runes. Because that's heroism is gold for some reason. That is my action, and then as my bonus action, I will drop another meteor. So, Dex save, please,
Please?
please.
17.
That's a pass. So you take
Still takes the damage.
4 damage. Wait, no. Yeah, 4 damage.
It's the biggest meme of this entire playthrough.
Not how bad I am at D&D.
No, that's
No,
just a
it's
meme
the
every
still
game.
taking
damage.
Every game.
This action, I don't need to move. Yeah, okay, that's me. I'm good.
Did you pop up your temporary hit points as well?
It's the start. So I think that will kick in next round.
As Ewan, it is Wolfrick's go. Just don't forget about them, because I will.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm gonna make 2 attacks against the wolf we've been wailing on.
That's a miss. Let's see if your other one's a hit. We'll continue this pattern for the rest of the night. That's also a miss.
No.
I shouldn't have opened my mouth.
Bonus action. Shield of
Actually,
Faith.
I need to check something, because this might be the first time this has actually happened. It is. Can you give me another attack roll, Ewan?
Okay.
As a 2 for you is considered to be a critical fail. Because of RAN.
Oh no.
As Eidolon, you are standing next to Wolfric.
Hello.
This might take up your reaction. As
What's your AC?
Also, if he's attacking me, he has disadvantage on the attack roll because of dodge.
that is true. Give me another roll. You'll still obviously see this, which is very strange. Wolfric's never really done
Let's
anything like this before.
go!
Yes! Base nat 1!
I have a question.
Oh my god.
Because I nat 2'd to hit the wolf, and then I tried to hit Eidolon, and I nat 1 to hit Eidolon.
Does
Does
he
that
hit the
mean it
wolf?
wraps around again?
Please, please. It better.
Give me an attack roll, and if you hit the wolf, yes.
Come on, Ewan. Come on.
Because this is just too funny.
Fuck
No,
no!
you
Damn it, that's a nat 1! That's a nat 2!
Never mind.
No!
That's another crit fail!
Boomerangs right back! And
As for yourself, Craig, and technically Paul as well, you'll be able to see this. This is the first time you probably see Wolfric kind of slip up. Wolfric, this is the first time that you've really felt the weight of RAN. As you go to hit the wolf, the axe obviously suddenly feels a lot heavier. Perhaps a guilt in the back of your mind just causes it to just drop ever so slightly. You spin it round, almost hitting Eidolon. Eidolon is able to dodge out of the way. You are not able to spin it with enough force to spin it back round and hit the wolf. However, thankfully you don't drop it, and nor does it become dislodged in the ground. It's kind of just, you're now off balance, off center, and you're gonna have to realign yourself.
He does a full pirouette.
The amount of crit fails he rolled there, he's literally just fucking spinning.
He became a Beyblade.
It's a new power source. We can utilize it. It's perpetual energy. Just Wolfric spinning forever.
With your Shield of Faith, your AC's 20, yes, Ewan?
yes.
So that one won't hit. That one will hit on a 22, and that's a nat 20, so that one will hit. As I need 2d6. 6. Okay, I need to actually separate this because you'll take half damage from some of these. So the d8.
Oh yeah, the crit for Wolfric just becomes a regular hit.
Well, it depends what it is in terms of damage wise.
Oh.
2, 4, 5, 9, 12, half to 6. You take 15 damage from one attack. As the claws manage to stop you spinning, stop you blading, and hold you in place as it bites down on you, which for that it is the nat 20, and you will take 18 damage.
That's total 31.
Total of 31.
Alright, and then I make a con save. To maintain concentration on my shield of faith. I keep forgetting it's
10 or the
10.
damage, whichever is higher.
Damage.
Half the damage.
So
It would be.
okay.
we'd be 10.
It would be
Because
10.
half of 18 is 9, and half the other one is less than 10
Yes, it'd be
still, so
10.
you just make it.
Okay, and then I just need to make another one. So I make the first one,
And you also make the
and
second.
I make the second one.
You're fine.
There
Your
is too
rolls
much
are
math
really
in this
low
session.
tonight, Ewan.
There is too
Yeah.
much math in this session.
Roll20 has not liked you tonight.
You roll 20 is not fun, isn't it?
Is- I need to do some rolls for Paul's wolves. Neither of them will hit.
Oh.
That one will hit though. As some of your wolves are not very good, Paul. They're not. They're still good boys, but they're not very good at attacking things. As I get to roll.
Well, they're just taken after their master, you know.
They're
As
good at
that
other
is
things.
a
Your
total
self-deprecation is really worrying me tonight, Paul.
5 damage, which puts that one on 14. Yeah, as your wolves manage to attack well, technically the non-injured one. The ones attacking the injured werewolf are not doing so good. As it is now your go, Paul.
Seeing a lot of people take some damage, I'm going to use a 5th level spell for the first time. It's going to
Ooh.
be a Mass Cure Wounds.
Hallelujah. How much healing actually is that?
It's 3d8 plus 4, but I'm using my sickle as well, so that's another plus d4 on top of that, right?
For me and Wolfric.
So it's 3d8 plus spellcasting mod plus a d4.
Only 3, nice.
23. That's
That's 23 to Eidolon, Wolfric, and myself. Does it
pretty
sound
good.
good?
You've got more targets, so if any of your wolves are damaged, you could heal them too.
Nah, none
You
of them
could.
have been hit. But
There you go.
Well, I can overheal them.
it's not
It
how
works like
healing
that, right?
works.
Fucking
I would
wish, like,
I would have gotten you to Radagash, but you're also like 100 feet away and you haven't taken a sausage of damage.
Yeah, I don't need it.
a sausage of damage.
That's a sausage of damage. Oh, that's put me up to. Oh, that put me up to full health. Yeah, let's go. And that's my 1 5th level spell gone. Make it worth it, boys. Bonus action, I'm gonna hit the fucking thing again.
Cool.
I always forget I have bonus actions.
Well, it's because you're a caster, and casters don't traditionally have bonus actions, but you actually have a weapon that doesn't hit. Because you actually have a weapon you use. However, can Wolfric, Eidolon, Markusar, can you give me a wisdom save?
At least we get
Lowest
Wolfric's
wisdom.
bonus.
Who has the lowest wisdom? Who wants
Not
to
me. Definitely not me.
Wolfric.
I
Not
think it's
me.
Wolfric.
Never
Who
mind,
rolls
he's
a
rolled
20.
too late.
Wait,
Fine.
what's Ewan's thing? Do I get a +4 and plus a?
You get
Yeah.
+4.
On top of whatever
Okay.
your wisdom save is at the moment. Or
on top of it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ewan has proficiency in wisdom saves now because he's a paladin. I forgot
Yes,
that.
I did.
I think me and you are fine, Ewan. I think Paul's fine.
I think.
Yeah.
Paul-
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
doing pretty good.
Wait, how on earth
on.
do you have a +12 in wisdom saves?
Oh, it's he's proficient.
Proficiency.
He's got a +4 to wisdom.
And a
you just
+4
had-
from you. Nice.
I'm the wisest motherfucker. I just don't play that way.
As one of the wolves
Jimmy
howls,
Neutron Brain Blast.
Oh,
Yeah.
not again.
one of the wolves howls, attempts to frighten you all. You are not frightened.
We all
Uh,
just look disappointed.
I flip the wolf off.
Here it comes, Paul. Here's your death again.
As Craig,
Here's where Paul dies again.
it's Eidolon's go.
Oh, I really thought Paul was just about to die, but again.
I'm generally
How-
flipping the wolf off. As
how injured?
Not so much the wolf, but Gaerdrah. You know.
How injured is the one in front of me looking at this point?
It's not looking great at this point.
Let's just fucking try and kill it.
Do you want a 16?
I think yeah, if you want to give me a 16, that's a guaranteed hit on one of them.
I'll take this 12, bump it up to a 16, and then take the 8. I don't know where the 8 is, and then take that down to a 4.
Take it down to a 4.
Math.
If you would, Miss GM, that's
Switch your
acceptable.
numbers around. So you now have
So
lost your
that-
12, but you now have a 4 instead of an 8.
Yeah.
So that is a wait no,
16 plus 9. Well done.
that's a 25 to hit. Thanks
That
to
will
Matthew. My next one is a wait shit. I'm just all over the place at this point.
No way.
That's a 13 to hit, which I'm assuming misses,
That will miss, yeah.
and that is also a 15.
That will miss.
So their AC is 16, boys. We know it now. So that is one hit. Let's just hope that this puts it down if it's really not looking good. That is 21 points of damage.
That puts it down 5 times over.
5 times over.
Yeah,
Wait,
already
would that mean that my unarmed strike would hit it in that case? My bonus action.
What do you mean?
Would that mean because I rolled all my 3 rolls at
Yeah,
once,
it's on
so
4
my
health.
15. Oh, is it dead?
It's
Or?
dead.
Yeah, but I'm asking about using my bonus action to punch it to make sure it stays dead. But I already rolled my punch, so I didn't know if I'd kill it with this.
You can reroll your punch again because it's just an aesthetic thing.
Cool. It's just to make sure it dies.
Well, do you not
Yeah.
want it to come back?
There we go. Bonus action, punch. It's dead.
I'll heal it with Blight again. It'll be fine.
Essentially just stepping forward, Ranagash, of course, helping because vision bullshit. Stepping forward, cutting off its head, catching its head using the tendrils in the air, and then pulling the head and slamming it into the corpse of the creature. Just let it disintegrate.
To which case, Ranagash.
Excellent.
You
Now
hear
that
a
I think
howl.
about it, him. Oh boy! Just while I think about it, it's very ironic that Rand's vision was of Eidolon cutting a motherfucker in twain, when said action and said sound would
Yeah.
fear him.
It was a rough night last night.
Yeah. Anyhow, we have one left, which means I can magic missile freely, and not have to worry about things. Don't know why.
This
I'm
thing
looking
probably
at
still
that.
has a lot of health because we haven't damaged it yet.
Yeah, let's
It
go
has currently
for-
lost 14 of its health.
Let's go for. Yeah, let's just go for 3rd level. So that will be 5d4 plus 5 as an action. Wait. Okay, it's 120 feet, that's fine. 4 plus 5. That's 19 force damage. Bonus action, dex save, please.
Math. 8.
Hey, it fails. So that's 10 fire. And I get my temporary hit points from heroism. A whole 3. That's action, bonus action, heroism. I don't need a move. I'm good. And
Wolfric.
it's so fun being on a different
Yes.
continent than the actual plate.
Just the other side of the wood at this point.
Yeah.
My turn. I'm gonna make attacks against the wolf.
That will hit.
This is a good start.
I looked through the dice, and apart from one other occasion, Ewan hasn't rolled above a 10 all night.
That's sad.
Exhibit A.
Where does the nat 1 come in? Oh, is that the second?
That's the second attack. Ah.
Mhm.
As
Does
this
that go to
time,
me?
you don't go to Eidolon this time. However, your axe is now lodged quite deep into the earth. As the first hit slashes through the wolf, the second hit keeps going and gets lodged into the ground. To which case, you'll need to use your action next turn to dislodge it.
Fun. Love that.
Ewan, can you not roll another nat 1, please?
Perhaps-
One.
Perhaps there's something in the back of your mind that means Ariane and you are not getting along today.
Swear to God, it's roll 20. I roll better in person. I swear to fuck.
Okay, so I need to roll a wisdom. That is also pass. So that will hit because Markusar's AC is shite. 21 to hit you, Craig.
Usually yes, but I will reactionarily cast shield.
Cool, and the other one doesn't hit you because it's a 10.
Woo.
But I do get to roll some damage for Markusar.
Full health, baby. Hit me with it.
It will claw you in the passing because it doesn't like you. As the two of you will be able to see once more that Markusar, when the creature goes to attack him, you can see these lights pulsing through its veins. Again, this almost shocking action of it recoiling ever so slightly. However, it is able still to clip him with its claws before attacking Eidolon, to which case, Markusar, you take 10 damage and I need a Constitution saving throw from you.
Let's go.
Oh, that's a fail. You are now poisoned and you take an additional 6 damage.
Oh no.
As I now get to do your wolves go. Yes, wolves go. Yes.
Yes, the wolves. Yes.
All of your wolves hit, Paul.
Let's go! That's my boys!
There's my boy.
So many d4s.
Let's go!
4, 8, 10, 16, 19, 23, 25.
Big damage from the boys.
They're trying. They really are trying.
30, 35, 41 damage.
Let's go.
How much?
41.
There's
Fuck.
only 8 wolves, and they all do a d4.
They do 2d4 plus 2.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's go.
And if there's eight of them, that's actually pretty average damage. If they all hit.
As your wolves are now
Indeed,
dogpiling
plus
this
four.
werewolf.
I get it, because wolves.
Ah!
Paul, it's your go.
Oh, what a shame I'm poisoned. It'd be a shame if I protected myself from poison.
You're
What
no
an
longer
action.
poisoned.
What an action.
I'm no longer poisoned. Another middle finger to Gaerdrah.
It would have ended at the end of your turn, but okay.
Ah, well, I just want to flex how fucking useless that spell was.
You also just lost your action for the turn.
Doesn't matter, I'm gonna swipe it with a sickle, bitch.
This is gonna miss. This is gonna fucking miss, isn't it? You also have disadvantage on the attack because you're poisoned.
No, he's protection from poison.
Nope, because I already done it.
Oh yeah.
18 to hit.
That'll hit.
Oh,
Oh,
that's what I
boy.
thought.
Here comes the D4.
Yeah. Yes.
If Paul was playing Markusar in real life, he'd have a series of fucking caltrops on his fucking.
Paul would buy D&D dice sets, but just for the D4s.
Yeah.
Craig.
Literally takes all the
Hello.
d4s out and chucks the rest of the dice.
Yes?
Your go.
Okay. How's the wolf looking?
My boys are looking great. They just did 41 damage. They're
Not
the top
your
of the
wolves.
world right now.
The other
Sorry.
wolves. It's looking pretty fine.
Cool. Back to their usual 4 attacks. Only got 1 key point, but we need to start taking chunks out of its health bar. Alright, so that is a 23, 28, and then 18, 13.
All but the 13.
Yeah. That is 47 points of damage.
That's some pretty big damage you got there.
Those were lots of nice and high damage rolls.
Yeah.
It's a double 6 on my 2d6. Should I burn my last key point? Fuck it, make me a con save. Me out of key points, but fuck it, make me a con save.
24.
Yeah, it passes. That was a waste. Oh well.
Imagine wasting a spell.
That's not a spell,
Well,
it's a key point.
Key point.
Wasting anything.
Matthew.
Okay, so I'll get this out of the way. So with my bonus action, drop my last meteor. Can I get a deck save, please?
10.
Oh, it fails. Takes the full
They're not good at
2d6.
deck saves.
They passed the last two.
There we go. 6 fire damage. I no longer have any meteors orbiting me. I will need to cast that spell again someday. That was very nice. Interesting. Okay, never mind. That's fine. Note that for future. And now, action. Drop another 3rd level magic missile. If I can. And that's the last. So it's 5d4 plus 5. 4 plus 5. So that's 19 force damage. And then as a free action on my turn, I shall point out the fact that I shouldn't have been able to cast missiles and heroes at the same time because they're both concentration. I will note that. This is
Gasp.
wrong. Someone in the comments, I beat you to it.
Andrew.
No, but they'll post it. They'll post it when they see it happen, and then see you call it out later.
You've had like 2 rounds to call me out. Were you fast enough?
That's the challenge for this episode. Whoever wins gets. I don't fucking know. We don't have enough
Pride.
money to offer anything.
They get pride.
They get a
being
named
smarter than
character
me.
in Thornsgard.
I mean, this is making me terrified for later in the campaign where I get to throw some nutty numbers at you guys. I'm struggling with the math on this combat, never mind the math in the future. So feel free to call me out on all my wrong fucking calculations this session.
Em's gonna be breaking out the fucking computers they use to fucking land the satellites.
You're just going to be sitting here
Just-
watching me with a calculator.
Buy you one.
Pay a tenner for the Switch calculator app.
Just say.
You have to pay for the Switch
Yeah.
calculator app?
It's £10.
It's £10
£10.
for the Switch calculator.
It's just a calculator. That's
It
all
better
it
do my
is.
fucking homework for me.
It's just a
Buy a
calculator.
calculator for less than that.
Yeah, you can.
As Wolfric.
I'm gonna use my action to dislodge my axe.
The sadness.
Yay.
Bonus action, punch it. Just punch it, Ewan.
I'm gonna
Take
end.
your rage out.
He's not a barbarian. I'm also going to put this initiative in the correct order. Because I misread my thing.
In my turn there.
Because Paul's wolves are supposed to go first. Paul, your boys are doing it! Like,
I'm gonna name them all after this.
they're actually doing it! I need more D4s!
It's gonna make them all make a wisdom save at the end of this turn, and then it's gonna kill them all in one.
I'm waiting for M to throw a big attack, like a big single attack that does a ton of damage. I'm waiting for it.
For triple figure damage.
For what, Ewan? What are you waiting for?
You'll find
Also,
out.
are you making sure to make the wolf make a strength save after every single wolf attack?
Yes. Well, I say that I'm making it make 2 because I'm not dealing with that many numbers right now. Because it hurts my head. Fuck you, Craig,
You know
I
what?
lost where I was. 12, 16, 18, plus 2. 16 is 28, 34. Yes?
Or yes.
Yes.
Let's go.
I actually think I'm gonna cry at the end of this. 204.
What?
See, now you get to know where its health is because I actually need to out loud math this. 204 plus 8 is 212.
Well, these things have 204 health.
Still up.
Even with
These
my
things-
34 damage from the boys?
Yep.
These things have more than 200 health, Paul.
Still.
It's almost like your 9th level characters.
I'm still maintaining the concentration to keep the dogs up. 'Cause that's a concentration
Let
spell.
the dogs out!
As Paul, it's now your go.
Yeah, I can't really break concentration, so all I can really do is heal or Thorn Whip.
Whip it! You haven't whipped it since the very first session where you whipped the mayor.
And failed.
No, I almost... Yeah, I did whip the bear. Yeah,
Hasn't whipped since.
No, he's not whipped since.
oh god.
Give me a melee attack. Or spell attack, so spell attack bonus. On dice.
Ooh, let's go. I have good spell attack. Unnatural 20.
That will hit.
Cool. It's only 2d6 though.
And it gets closer to you.
Well, I was already like up in its scroll anyway.
You
How
are
much
already
closer
up in
can
its-
it get?
Already up in
Exactly.
scales, that's fine.
9 damage.
As I now get to go. Because I've put everything in the right order. And I need Markusar, Eidolon, Wolfric, and I'll roll for your wolves, Paul, to make me a constitution saving throw.
+4 that you gave us earlier, right?
26.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I do.
13.
I
So
need
one
to...
passes, one fails.
Yeah, I do get the +4.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
So I need 1, 2. Okay, so Wolfric,
I-
Markusar, you fail.
I have the 3D dice up, and it literally went on to 20, then fell over into 2. I hate roll 20.
One group of your wolves will fail as well. One of them will succeed. So I need to see if this will actually kill them. Health.
I mean, wolves only have like 11 health.
Yeah.
And if it's like roll for half damage, then
I get to half this for Wolfric. I don't half this for Markusar. And Eidolon, you already take half. So 6, 12, 14, 17, 19. Halved is 9. Wolfric, Eidolon, you take 9 damage. Markusar, you take 19 damage. As the wolf seems to retch this almost poisonous Icarus substance that damages your conjurations pretty badly. Some of them actually start dissolving in the acid. For the 3 of you, it affects you, but not a lot in the grand scheme of things, considering the dice I was rolling. However, the Ichor it emits remains on the ground, bubbling and starting to burn away the stone, burn away the ground, burn away the foliage. To which case, if you remain in this area, which is now considered to be difficult terrain, you will take some damage at the end of your turns.
she's telling us to leave.
Yeah. As I now have only one group of doggos. As Eidolon.
Hello. Is it my turn?
It is your go.
Yes. I has no key point,
No.
so I make 3 attack, not 4.
Let's do that, actually.
So essentially, firstly, so with the sword, with now in this sort of blighted field, probably not very gracefully step out of it, or more take a jump out of it. More run slightly around and try to get behind the wolf instead. More try to take its attention away from the people who it's facing towards. So that is a 27 hit.
Yep.
A non-nat 20 hit.
Yep.
And a 11.
Nope.
The punches just aren't working today. As it takes 36 slashing damage. Essentially just turn around, jump up, cleave down its back, and then attempt to punch forward, but I like to imagine that with the wound, it just has the time to be able to pull itself out of the way.
I mean, you say that, it doesn't have the time to pull itself out of the way as it is dead.
Oh! Alright, so I don't need to punch. I just cleave it in half, and then
You do
punch
just
the floor.
cleave it in half. As you punch the floor. However, the acid is still there and still bubbling, so I'd advise, now that you're out of combat, for the 3 of you to get out of that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already out of it, so...
As the 2 corpses, I guess for the 3 of you who are still within the radius, Ranagash is still 120 feet away. The strange thing about these is when the blighted creatures usually die, when they usually come to the end of their lives, or when you murder them, they usually dissolve. They turn to ash, they turn to piles of acid, piles of goop. These are still very connected. They're not dissolving, they're not decomposing, they're kind of still there. Yeah. Also, someone needs to go and get Ran.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's things I want to say to Ran, and I'm certain Wolfric probably has something what they want to say to Markusar, but I need to...
It's okay. We can cut to break, because I need to head rest. Math, not good. Need to go back to English. And I also need more juice, and I also need to cry in the corner. But yeah, we will take a short break, and we will come back with some RP and some more travel and less math, please. As we come back, I
Get
need
it.
to get rid of some of Matthew's numbers and change them round. Now it's correct. I finished crying, I have some more juice. Hopefully there's no more math in this session. Please let there be no more math in this session.
The tears will never stop.
Markusar suddenly remembers that there was a math decathlon happening just outside Thornsgard, and
I will
he wants
kill
to
you
invite all
again.
the players.
Jumping back, you have defeated the two wolves of the Blight. Their corpses are still there. They have not decomposed like they normally would, or you've normally experienced, even in Eidolon's experience. Ranagash is still 120 feet away, but you are out of combat.
I need to prioritize burning these corpses first. That's gonna be what's on Eidolon's mind.
Hefting them out of their acid pool.
Yeah.
Can you give me a dex? Sleight of hand if you
checks.
have it.
Save. Oh. Nope. This is gonna be the bad roll, isn't it?
No,
Oh,
that's
13.
alright.
No, I'm decent.
It takes you a little bit of time, it takes you a little while. However, you are able to pull them out without obviously dipping yourself in the acid. Always a good thing.
The appropriate PPE, you know, rubber gloves, goggles, the whole shebang.
However, with your passive perception, just because it's stupid,
Hello.
as you're pulling them out, as you're maneuvering them, obviously some of their body parts start to tear, start to rip. They're obviously decomposing to some degree, or were made up of decomposing corpses to some degree. The strange thing about these, in comparison to other Blight that you have come across, they are usually one infected creature, the Blight then manifesting and growing off of the host.
Mm-hmm.
As you're pulling these out of the acid pile, you're kind of setting them to a pyre to burn. As parts of their body are ripping and tearing, their flesh starting to let you get a better insight into their insides. You can see that there are several different humanoids making up this one creature.
Oh.
But it's
Well,
not
that's
like
deeply unpleasant.
it's not like three or four different people. It's like different parts of different people.
Yeah, like at least 3 different people's heads, you know, plenty of arms, plenty of legs, lots of torsos. Gotta need lots of torsos.
You can even see like the jaw and the maw of one of them. The teeth aren't actually teeth, it's almost the way that the blight is formed around someone's ribcage to create a mouth.
Yeah, no.
That's fucking cool as hell. It's disgusting, but it's cool as hell.
Like, Eidolon, of course, he gags ever so slightly, but more just composes himself and I guess gets to getting some wood together for a quick little fire, because, yeah, it'll catch, but it'll need to catch a lot of this. I'm going to be keeping an eye out, too, whilst I'm pulling these around to see if Ranagash is actually anywhere in the area, because he's clearly not here, but he was still doing things in the combat. So it's just like the first thought of, did he have a plan?
Can you give me a wee wisdom save, Ram?
What is I get +2? Okay. 11.
You are still considered to be frightened. As with the combat, or you can hear the combat kind of coming to an end, you are still 120 feet away from it, but yeah, you're still shaken, especially considering your premonition must have come true for the combat to be over this quickly, and that sends you back to the recollection of the obsidian sword cutting through flesh.
God, you chose a bitch of a fear.
Oh, this isn't his only one.
Yeah.
Again, though, for now, I don't know if I can see him or not,
You wouldn't be able
but
to see him.
I need to prioritize burning this first. I don't know if Wolfric and Markusar are doing anything. Primarily, I'm looking at Wolfric because, well, Markusar wasn't exactly normal in that combat.
Markusar,
Yes.
why did your wolves look like that?
Gets his little water skin.
They both take a drink,
Dehydrated.
take a sip.
He's hoping that he'll change subject by the time he finishes drinking.
This is all alcohol. He's trying to kill himself. He's trying to destroy his liver before Wolfric can finish.
No, it was Roderick who had the alcohol and the water skin. I drink just water.
Wait, is he still drinking the water skin, or was it just...
No, I.
We took you at face value, Paul.
Take the water skinners. Where'd Radagash get to?
Don't dodge the question. Why did your wolves look like that?
With coming back from the dead twice, I guess. Obviously, I'm not as full of life as I used to be, so.
Insight
I guess.
check.
I haven't finished the lie yet.
Yeah, but he can still insight
He can
you.
still insight you at any point.
I'm not as full of life as I'm all kind of gone to
Ewan!
skinny and stuff like that.
Ewan!
Oh, it was actually a wizard did it. A portal to another dimension opened, and it was those wolves that opened. I could say anything. It was actually
No, actually,
Sophia.
if you-
No,
it
you
was
couldn't.
Sophia.
No, you
If you
couldn't.
said anything, he would just not believe you.
You have to
Sorry.
continue with the lie that you were going on, and then
Okay,
roll
okay.
a deception and hope
Let's-
you don't roll a nat
let's-
one.
Let's bring it back. I am obviously not as full of life as I used to be. Look at me. I'm skinny and pale, like a elf. So I guess my magic isn't as strong, and I couldn't conjure a wolf as full of life as I used to be.
Alright.
I don't-
Alright, that makes
No, I
sense.
do need to roll a deception here,
That makes sense.
but I have a positive modifier, so.
Nat ones can happen.
Oh shit! Yeah, that one's.
Because you rolled a nat one. Again.
Okay.
And again.
This is painful for Wolfric this session.
Is it a 23?
Yeah.
Fuck
It
Fuck
seems
you. Fuck
it-
you.
Believable.
it seems plausible. Like there's perhaps that little bit of suspicion that's not going to go away, as it was in the beginning when you divine sensed him after he first showed up. But
Wolfric is sus. It goes in the notes.
you don't know. You don't know how undeath can affect someone. Coming back from the grave once is a rare occurrence, never mind twice, and you already managed to detect that Markusar's connections to this plane are already weak. So perhaps it is just the fact that he can't conjure living things anymore. Perhaps he can only conjure dead things now.
More just calling over as I'm burning the body as they're having the conversation. Markusar, you know woods better than Wolfric. Can you go find Ranagash?
I'll try.
That is a very correct statement. I do not know woods. I know trees. I don't know wood.
Can't see the wood
as, he's
from the trees.
as he's pulling a wolf's corpse, he puts it down to look up at you, gives you a sarcastic this time slow clap as he goes back to pulling the wolf.
I was gonna say, if you wanted a good tree for firewood, I could point one out. I don't just say shit unprompted. I'm trying to be subtle.
Then, Wolfric, if you want to help, can you pull the other one out of the acid?
Do you have to
Alright.
chop down a tree for fire? Can't you just take a fallen branch, one that nature has gifted to us?
Or he could cut down a dead tree that's still standing.
Markusar, if you don't go look for Ranagash, I'm about to gift you with nature's backhand.
Can I look for Radagash's tracks?
I'm gonna be-
start dragging the wolf.
I am going to be saying something to Wolfric when Markusar's out of earshot.
Wolfric, give me Dex. Markusar, give me Survival. Sleight of hand if you
Check
have
or
it, Ewan.
saving throw.
Check. Sleight of hand if
check.
you've got it.
I don't think Wolfric's got sleight of hand.
I never know. I've got to
I
ask.
I got a d20 roll for you.
It's gonna be a nat one. Oh,
9.
that's not too bad. You've got your fancy pauldron.
Call me a French baker, because my life is nothing but pain.
You made that joke last week.
That's because
I
it's just
have one joke.
it's also just
funny and
continuous
applicable.
pain. As for yourself, Ewan, Wolfric takes
Insignificant.
2 acid damage. As it just manages to brush against your arm, you can start to feel it bubble.
Fucking bastard.
You are able to pull it though, and are able to heft it over to where Eidolon is gathering the bodies. And Markusar, you are on your way to find Ranagash, though I will let Eidolon say his piece beforehand, for Matthew can have time to think about what Ranagash is doing right now.
Yeah. Once Markusar gets beyond the tree line and a bit further, since I couldn't even see Ranagash, so if he's going looking, he needs to dip
Disappear.
in. When Wolfric actually pulls one of the bodies out, keeping my tone still to a whisper, he was lying to you.
Well, yeah, he seemed convincing, but I've just kind of gone with the assumption that everything Markusar says to us is bullshit.
Yes, but it's more my question of do you know, in that case, what
I
part of
don't-
it was a lie?
No clue.
You're breaking my trust, Eidolon.
Aye, but you don't know
We
that.
had never we never had trust in you to begin with. It's a tenuous relationship at best. Anyway,
As Idlemore gives a sigh, looking over at where the wolves that Markusar summoned were. Did you recognize them?
Still here, by the way.
No, you fucked off at this point.
Oh shit! But like, I keep concentration up for an hour.
Oh yeah, then they'll just kind of be sitting chilling.
Yeah, they're vibing until I give them a command.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can literally gesture to them.
Yeah, you can.
they look like the ones we fought in the woods ages ago.
And why, in fact, do you think that might be?
Can he hear us?
What?
Spooky man.
Eidolon literally just puts his head in his hands.
I don't know how magic works. I don't know if you can hear us.
Maybe. But at this point,
Gaerdrah, I'm not going to beat around the bush then.
again, maybe. I don't care at this point. People who you care about might be getting hurt, and I'm not standing for lies and deceit at this point. I don't know if you care about me, Wulfric, but you've been invaluable to helping me at this point. So I care if people that you care about are getting hurt.
And naturally, I would care. I don't want any of us to end up dead because of whatever he's planning. If his machinations get any more of Thornsgard killed, I will rain hellfire upon him. Whatever awaits him when his body departs from this plane will be a fucking blessing compared to what I will do to him.
Sorry, it's just getting to the point where I feel you need to know, and you're not being kept in the know.
I've found that I'm often kept out of the loop.
But I wanted to amend that.
So I take it wasn't the good graces of a cleric of the goddess of death that brought Markusar back.
You're welcome to assume what you're welcome to assume there.
The assumption has been assumed.
Then keep it an assumption. You didn't hear anything direct from me anyway.
What coward's way of telling the truth. Wulfric,
It's
if
to
you do
make-
something weird, I can't tell you what, but
Also, Paul, it's to make sure that none of your people get hurt, because I haven't told Wulfric what you told me not to tell him. I'm trying to protect both of you, you idiot!
He tries to
It's
help.
all about the wording. It's all about the wording.
As Markusar, you head into the woods, obviously oblivious to this conversation. Following Ranagash's tracks, he seems to have gone in pretty straight, but he seems to have gone quite far out. It takes you a little while to kind of find him, I guess. To which case, what does he find when he gets there, Matthew?
Find him like sitting on the ground, but not neatly legs crossed on a basket, almost as if he's like half fallen and managed to sort of catch himself a bit. Sort of breathing heavy, one hand on the ground, half to stabilize and half to feel that it is not the wooden floors of his mum's bedroom. And he just sort of look up at you with, wide eyes.
Ranagash, are you okay?
Fine, I just,
We defeated the wolves.
good.
Do you want to return
Yeah,
with me
no.
to the party?
Just give me a minute.
Okay. Stay put. I'll let them know you're here. Do you need anything?
No,
A hug?
fine. I'm fine.
I take out a tiny, cuddly toy, which I had gifted to me by handmade by my father years ago, and I carry it with me at all times. I've only brought it up now. I give it to Ranagash. It looks like a tiny bear. It's made of like mottled sort of, well, not mottled, like it's made of all colors, like greens and browns and stuff like that. It's got little stones for eyes and stuff like that. And I give that to Ranagash, who's like, he'll protect you.
Or give it like a quizzical look and a raised eyebrow and a thanks.
You're welcome. And I return. I return to Wolfric and Eidolon. It's like, he's up by a tree, about 120 feet specifically from here.
Give or take.
Yeah, give or take 120 feet.
Any particular reason?
I think he just got scared.
As long as he's safe where he is, we'll burn this and collect him afterwards.
Yeah, he wants to be alone right now, but he'll manage. I helped him as much as I could.
He's been through a lot these past few days, and he hasn't exactly had the time that some of us have taken to deal with it.
I don't think any of us are afforded the time to deal with our traumas.
Well, then let's use our chances to afford him his.
Yes.
Yeah,
Does anyone need a hand?
no, we should be fine.
Okay.
Unless you can produce fire.
I can control fire. Control flames specifically.
I don't think that can produce a flame.
No one needs to have
No.
If one of the two of you were able to make a spark, he would then be able to essentially make it
larger.
bigger. But one of you.
Wolfric will take a hand axe from his side and pick up a rock and start going.
Cool. You would then be able to control the spark, Markusar, and ignite it into a proper fire.
I do that and sort of light up the fire. A nice big roaring fire to deter any enemies or animals.
Yeah, with that chance, pull the large corpses onto the pyre and get them burning.
Wolfric does that and then reaches into his bag, or reaches into his pocket, and pulls out 2 handkerchiefs, hands one to Eidolon, and then puts it over his mouth.
Yep. I don't need to do it, but I appreciate the gesture.
Markusar just better deal with this shit, thanks.
I have 2 hands,
Kerchiefs.
and those. Also, I presumed you were further away from the smell. We were like right next to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
considering
think-
the two of them would be controlling the fire, you kind of just be containing it. You don't need to be close to it to do that.
Cool, can I tend to my boys, my wee 4 wolves that are still kicking around?
The 4 doggos that are still kicking around. They look a bit injured, but they look alright.
Pat them all on the head and be like, you did great, all of you.
Right. Let's head back to camp.
I'll go grab Ranagash.
Alright.
Boys with me.
They are with you.
I'll head the way. I'll
I
head
have
the way
4.
Markusar headed in.
I have 4 wolves. I'm walking with you, I've just got the wolves around me.
Yeah.
I have to command them, and I told them to come with me.
As Wolfric and Markusar, you guys head back to camp.
Wolfric rushes, hopefully with Markusar's help, reignites the fire and starts beginning
Heating
to
up the food.
heating up the food.
Ah,
What food are you making?
Well, it's mostly eggs.
Yeah, I would light get the fire roaring for it, and then I would stop controlling it because I don't want to help anymore.
There's also a little kettle.
he's still got like mushrooms and stuff, like the root veg that he would have taken from the pantry, so he can make you something too, Markusar.
Wolfric takes out a wee bowl and pours some boiling water and mixes it up and kind of puts some stuff in it, makes a rudimentary oatmeal, and then hands it to Markusar, and he's like, "It's not going to be very good, but it'll keep you going."
Thank you so much. I turn away and I take some berries out my bag and top it. Some nuts and berries that I always have, like kind of stashed, little trail mix. Just
Yeah.
Trail. I can imagine that. I can imagine him doing that.
trail mix is fucking great, and I
It
think
is.
it's the exact thing a druid would eat.
Mm-hmm.
As Eidolon, you find Ranagash gathering his breath with a small, almost handmade bear plushie, like sitting staring at him, not too far away from him.
Hold it, you bastard.
Unless you would be cuddling it.
No.
You bitch.
You know, I have to
Fair
say,
enough.
Ran, this is a rather terrifying sight.
The teddy bear.
What?
As he more just gestures to you sitting up against a tree, then to the teddy bear that's just looking at you.
Markusar's. He's Markusar.
Alright, well, we're heading back to camp.
Alright.
You, want to explain why that happened?
You know, the sounds and the doors and...
Sounds?
Part of me hasn't left that room.
I can't promise that you're not going to continue hearing that sound, but...
No, I wouldn't ask you to do that.
Adlamore just gives a slow nod. If you'd prefer, though, I can keep it away from you. At least the blade itself.
Out of sight, out of mind.
As Idlemore just gives a nod, when I get back to camp, I essentially will wrap it up in some bandages, as in wrap up the sword. Because that'll make it difficult to see, but shouldn't impede on its ability to cut things.
And then as the two of you come back, Wolfrick's like, "Oh, you're back, lads. That's dinner ready." And he's got like two rudimentary, like mess tin plates. And he hands one to Eidolon, and he hands one to Ranagash, and he's made omelets.
Yum.
Listen, you've been cooking us good things, but pretty basic stuff all up until now. What? As he more just gestures at it, what sparked this?
Omelets are nice. It's a nice, wholesome thing to enjoy.
Are you practicing your cooking before we meet Sophia?
No, Sophia already knows I'm good at cooking. I don't need to impress her any more than I already have.
More just brushing up on the skills again.
I mean, it never hurts to keep your craft improved. It's probably, once this is all behind, it's probably something I want to do.
Permanently?
Yeah, cooking on the side, you know.
Would you open up a little cafe or restaurant?
Thinking more of a bistro, but yeah.
Oh, a bistro. Oh. What would you call it?
I'm still workshopping names.
Well, what names you got?
Dragonfire
right?
Cookery.
Oh, that sounds pretty interesting. Now I want to catch you off guard.
English students.
Yeah.
Em also knows I'm really good at improv.
Improv.
I can just pull shit.
Give me an occupation. Chef. Did Ranagash bring the teddy bear?
Yes.
Okay.
Not a monster.
Leaps in the woods.
Aw, poor Teddy gets left behind.
I wouldn't
No,
do
it's
that.
still here.
As all things considered, the four of you have quite a pleasant night. You are able to recuperate, taking a long rest after having some good food. Even being very rudimentary, the oatmeal that Wolfric has been able to prepare for you, Markusar, is pretty good, with the berries giving it that little bit of sweetness.
So taking a good berry. I've put it off for too long.
Like, it's not even a bad spell to take, though. It's free nutrients all the time.
Yeah.
As kind of getting into the morning, getting into your morning routine, getting into another day's travel, you start to break from the main plains and start to travel northwards towards the crossroads which would eventually lead you to Thornsgard. The road itself is very quiet. No one is travelling this road. You see no one coming towards you, and no one passes you to travel north either. The roads themselves seem dead. And as you get into the afternoon, still not seeing any signs of life anywhere, you maybe start to see what the people of Kinreen were saying when they were saying that the northern roads had been abandoned for quite some time. As at first you think it's signs of life, campsites along the road. When you actually pass them, they are dismantled, they are disturbed, they are chaotic. There are no bodies, thankfully, but you can see signs of struggle, signs of attack. You can see carts that have been tipped, tack for horses that have been left just at the sort of tail end. Some of the camps that you even passed look like they were settling down for dinner. You can see some coals that have gone, well, cold, and a cooking pot still over the fire, though nothing is in it, and if it is, it's kind of rotted. As you're starting to travel up the roads,
I take it this road isn't supposed to be like this, Wolfric.
No.
Wouldn't happen to be your band that would stop this from happening?
Yeah, it was usually us. We ended up becoming somewhat of a de facto town guard for Thornsgard, but we'll keep going.
Continuing the ride into the sort of evening time, would you guys stop to investigate any of them? Or would you kind of all leave them on the sideway?
Stop and have a quick inspection, see if there's any insignia I recognise, any...
See if there's any living people would also be a good shout.
Yeah.
It's not likely, but...
So I'll give you an investigation, I presume.
Yep.
8.
I'll help Wolfric with that.
Give me another roll with advantage.
Alright, I'll roll again because... That's an 8.
John!
This is actually painful tonight. I don't know if you're finding
How?
that. Like, this is just an awful night for you, Ewan.
This is... Oh my god.
I guess it kind of comes in the evening time as you guys are looking for a place to camp yourselves. It becomes pretty difficult when you get onto the northern roads, the northern turns, to actually find a place to camp that hadn't already been taken and has now obviously been abandoned. So you kind of take the opportunity whilst you can to investigate some of the remains, some of the things that have been left behind. And I guess this is where, at least for Wolfric, it kind of turns into quite a nasty sight. As most of the campsites you've seen from the road haven't had any bodies in them. The few that are here have got maybe 2 or 3 bodies in them. Not much more than that, at least for a travelling band. That's suspicious on its own, whereas the rest of them, especially considering the ones that have been left behind are, at least by the state of their bodies, whilst decomposing, they're probably only maybe between the ages of 14 and 16, so they're quite young. They're all injured in some capacity. You see one of the young men has lost a leg, another seems to have his arm strapped in splints. You can see another one has pretty much his entire torso strapped in splints. He's actually lying down on what would be a stretcher, likely someone else carrying him. The thing that strikes them as Wolfric is these are likely whelps from Drakenel, as they are all garbed in Iron Dragon gear, all bearing the northern symbol.
A bunch of trainees that didn't make it. Oh, this is the worst possible situation.
You did say there's bodies, yeah?
3 of them, yeah. The 3 whelps.
Any notable sign of death?
Well, one of them's got their leg missing.
I know, but the removal of a leg doesn't necessarily mean that's what killed them.
Give me an investigation or a medicine, Idlum.
I'll help.
Cool.
That's a plus. Okay. Take one.
You roll, maybe you'll roll fucking better than I did.
22.
Yeah, he does. For medicine or investigation?
Investigation.
Cool.
Professional.
It seems to be that the injuries these gentlemen have sustained, these kind of young men have sustained from the arm, the leg, the gentleman on the stretcher, they don't seem to be the injuries that killed them. They seem to be tended to, at least well tended to. The injuries that seems to have possibly killed them comes more from bludgeoning and neglect. Everything seems to be internal.
Neglect?
So, like, as you're investigating the bodies, it looks like they've been bludgeoned by something and they've just kind of been left to bleed internally. So no one's treated the wounds that they've suffered internally.
I just turned to Wolfric. It doesn't seem they were killed, more left to die.
That's arguably slightly worse.
Did they have anything on them? Anything saying where they were going or where they were from? I mean, I know you said they were from Drakenel, but...
I wasn't able to find anything other than the...
Markusar, Ranagash, can you give a quick sweep to the area, see if you can find anything at all?
Sure. Detect magic.
Detect magic.
I've
The
got
best of it is the best investigative tool I have.
There is faint traces of the residue of the blight, but not enough that can determine anything. It looks like the site's been here for a while. A lot of the traces have been kind of left to be reclaimed by nature.
Hey, I mean,
Don't celebrate the death of essentially children, Paul.
celebration of nature returning to the world.
I have no honest clue, but if you don't mind, I'm gonna get away to preparing something Just to take my mind off this is hard to look at for me. So do you mind if I'll quickly head back to the camp?
I'd just give Wolfric a wave.
My mind absolutely pats the hand on Eidolon's shoulder, and he heads off to the camp.
Have we set up a camp yet?
Yeah, you'll have obviously not set it up in this camp, but you'll have set it maybe 30-40 feet away, kind of in an open space just off the main road, where you can conduct some investigations around some of the nearby destroyed camps, but obviously not close enough that you're near the devastation.
Wolfric enacts his plan, or what he was planning on doing that day.
Do we get to know?
So, what he does is he kind of fiddles with the symbol of Liera, and he casts create food and water, but rather than creating food that's to be eaten because it says the food is bland, he creates ingredients, and what he does is he starts cooking with them.
Man cooks to distract
Genius.
himself from corpses.
And specifically, there's beef, there's like minced beef, there is tomatoes, coriander, basil, bacon, pasta.
You, an honest sentiment, are you going to take the chef feat at this rate?
Honestly, with the amount I'm cooking, I'm wondering if Wolfric's going to end up with proficiency in cook's utensils with the fact that he's
The amount
cooking
of time he's
basically.
cooking.
I mean, just
Yeah.
take the chef feat, you get them.
Would Ranagash do anything to help investigate in the camp? Just will Wolfric obviously up
Yeah,
some
I'll-
leaves.
Sweep around, fill in his place.
Give me an
Oh,
investigation.
that's still going.
Also, just as a note, because it's 45 pounds of food, there's a small section left aside
Much food.
of vegetarian ingredients that are
How's it-
put into a pot for a vegetarian.
Oh, I
Thing.
didn't want to ask, but thanks.
He considers you. Ranagash, you kind of go around searching, not the bodies, but I guess some of the personal effects that have been left behind. It seems to be that whatever has happened here, it happened very quickly. A lot of the stuff has just kind of been left as it would be strewn. And you find two of them. They are of the same thing. It's almost like this was two bands that got together, so they have the same copy of the same letter. That seems to have been penned by someone who has very scratchy handwriting. At least from what it looks like. There's a lot of smudge marks. But it does, I guess, give you some insight into perhaps why these gentlemen were here. Or at least where they were going.
Take it, it's in common, right?
It is in common, yeah. Do you give it to Eidolon? I feel like, read,
Yeah.
please. Is you will to pick up words, but not all of them.
I haven't handed it. I'd probably still just be crouched down looking over the bodies at this rate. Take the letter, give it an open and give it a read.
Cool.
I'd read it out loud so that Ranagash can hear what I'm saying.
So the letter is not addressed to anyone, nor is it signed by anyone. Again, the only thing that's indicative of it is this very scrawled, scratchy handwriting. As it reads, "We cannot afford to send any more men. We have lost too many. This is an order to all you can find within Mire. Fall back. Return to Drakenel at once. We will find a way to repay Thornsgard, but for now we have nothing to give and nothing to show for the coin we have taken. To anyone we meet, tell them that the fort welcomes them. I know they will likely turn you away, but the town's pretty much deserted. Try to convince them though. Convince as many of them as you can to come back with you. Find as many of us as you can and tell them to fall back too."
Is it signed by anyone? Wolfric, you're still within hearing, yes? Earshot?
Yes.
You can shout for him, yeah.
You'd essentially just hear, coming from the site, "Wolfric,
Aye.
get over here.
What is it?
I need you to see if you recognize something."
Alright, Wolfric will quickly hurry over and have a look at it.
Mainly, do you recognize the handwriting? And I'll let you
Do I
push read the letter.
recognise the handwriting?
This is Lambert's handwriting.
Ah, this will be a rip from Lambert then.
And the message, any idea what it could mean?
Would I have any idea what it means?
Usually the Iron Dragons take, words. The Iron Dragons usually have a small coffers in Thornsgard that, if anything, out with, like, just maintenance. Essentially, if they get attacked by anything, if people go missing, if, like, property is burnt down, they'll use money from this coffers to pay the Iron Dragons to come and actually do proper work rather than just simple guards work. there is a good chance that Thornsgard have paid Drakenel, they've paid the Iron Dragons for something, and they've not been able to follow through on it. Hence the, like, right now we've got nothing to give, and we can't repay them for what we've taken, but we can't afford to lose any more men. They've obviously suffered very heavy losses. These young boys probably amongst those that they've lost. The unusual part, I guess, for you comes with the fact that the note specifically tries to convince the people who are obviously bearing it to come back to Drakenel, to fall back. That's not usually something the Iron Dragons do, especially when a job's not been completed, when a payment's not been fulfilled. The thing that worries you is the fact that the letter specifically states that Thornsgard has pretty much been deserted now, with the commanders, the officers, the mercenaries bearing these letters to try and convince the last of the people who are living there to come and stay in Drakenel instead.
Thornsgard's basically abandoned, at least by the Iron Dragons. These letters were trying to convince whoever that they should head to Drakenel.
So I guess my next question is, who's stubborn enough to stay?
Guess we're gonna find out.
Either that or Idlemorge gives a sigh. That's most likely all that's here. We need to rest up. Maybe we can hit Thornsgard in the morning.
That's what we're aiming for. Come on, dinner's nearly ready.
Idlemorge gives a sigh. Almost just, at this point, getting sick of this happening everywhere. More just following over with Wulfric.
Wulfric is silently praying as he walks that Sophia is okay.
Marge looking over to Wulfric. Anything you want to lament over? Got plenty recently.
I'm just worried that the Thornsgard that I love isn't the Thornsgard that's left. That Sophia's either... Sophia's strong. I'm not speaking that into existence. I'm not speaking those words into the world. She's alive. She has survived. Because there's no way that she would go down. I refuse to believe otherwise.
Listen, the first thing that you're probably going to have to respect immediately is it's not going to be the same. That doesn't mean you can't hope that it's not okay. It's just, don't be unrealistic with yourself.
Fantasy's all I've got at this point.
All we can say with certainty is that people will still be alive there.
I've got a fair few people to check on. Sophia's at the top of my list.
I don't think anybody else would make sense to be up there.
Of course. Yeah. It's been a while. I've really missed her.
Listen, eat what you've made and then head straight to sleep.
Yeah.
Don't stay up any longer.
We need the rest as well.
I'll be okay. You need to sleep.
Wulfric, and then Wulfric starts dishing out what's been made.
Food!
Food, which is basically
glorious food.
He's made spaghetti.
Yes!
Road spaghetti.
He's good with his pastas.
Yeah, and he hands over a bowl to Markusar, and it's like, this has absolutely nothing that comes from an animal in it.
Thank you so much, Wulfric. Scrans it.
It's his first proper
it.
meal.
I'd like to imagine it's pretty good.
How good is
Survival
it?
check?
Roll.
Survival.
What should I roll?
We roll
Cooking's
survival?
usually
No,
survival.
it's Wulfric. Wulfric rolls survival.
It's more like, do we survive the food?
If he rolls
Natural 20!
It's the best
Finally!
meal I've ever had.
he gets the nat 20 when it counts.
Cooking.
He gets the nat 20 when it counts. This is
Wulfric,
pretty fucking good.
Where did you learn this recipe? It tastes exactly like my father used to make.
It's in... Is Markusar having the fucking food critic from Ratatouille flashback?
Literally. Like, you got the blend of spices perfect.
It's I'm not going to attempt to take credit for it. This is a family recipe that Sophia gave me, and her and her mum would occasionally cook it for a couple of the boys in the barracks. She passed it on to me in case I ever wanted to make it on the road if I was feeling particularly homesick for my second home.
Amazing. I take another bite, and a singular tear Yeah, this is like the best pasta the Markusar has ever eaten, and it is bringing him back to when his father made it when he was young.
This was a thing. M knows this is a character trait of Wolfric's that came up completely on the fly, and I'm loving that I'm going with.
Yeah, it makes sense, and I really like it, and I really like that you've just gone full ham with it as well. Because it would make sense, like, he's the eldest as well, it would help your mum out, and then obviously Sophia owns a flower shop, but she lives right next to an apple orchard, so she can eat, she grows edible plants and lives right next to an orchard, so why wouldn't she cook at the same time?
You rarely see it from Eidolon, but when he's eating, he actually does smile for once.
Hey, what's Ranagash thinking of the bolognese?
Is
Strange
with the
noodles.
orcs? Yeah, I was gonna say, would that be a thing he's had before, or is he just like, what the fuck is this? But it's damn good.
You probably have like the meat, the tomatoes, but not obviously in a more bolognese style. I imagine it'll have taken him a couple of times to like get a fork and then just watch all the pasta come through the fork, and then try it again and watch all the pasta slide through the fork, as he doesn't know how to pick up pasta.
Just grab it with your hands.
Yeah. He's still not quite got the hang of cutlery.
As Eidolon, can you give me an active perception? Just as you're sitting in camp, obviously everyone retiring after dinner.
Bangers,
31.
Bangers and Ranagash.
That is a 30. That is a 31 on the perception check, Em.
As everyone's kind of coming, I guess,
Is
to the end.
is that the first D20 roll of a 30 in this game so far?
Yes, I think so. Anyway.
Nice.
Wait, sorry, I've got another pun one. Eidolon's flurry of blondies.
That's good. Oh, I could go some blondies.
Anyway,
before I wish for death. Eidolon, as everyone starts to retire for the evening, heading to bed after Wolfric's meal, kind of filling you up. You kind of obviously cast your eye to, I guess, some of the other destroyed sites not too far from your camp. It's something you're getting fed up with, but in the back of your mind, I guess it's also the worry of how much devastation has been caused in the year that you've been gone.
A lot, by the look of it.
Yeah.
I die for a year and I wake up to this shit.
I guess it's just kind of that. It's that torn thing of you want to obviously help, but at the same time, like, surely this would have all been fine if, Gaerdrah hadn't done what he did, if you were able to just hold the wall.
It's pretty easy not to be a psychopath.
Yeah. But I guess the thing that catches your attention as you're looking through is not too far from you, there is a upturned carriage where upon the branding of the wheels, you can see what looks like an Aramban symbol.
Is everybody already sleeping or are they getting ready?
Wolfric's out.
Wolfric's out for the count. Markusar's probably gone into his trance, and Rand's slowly starting to probably uncomfortably sleep at this point.
Yeah, Cassie and I quickly around the campsite, making sure there's nothing nearby. Eidolon will probably be about halfway through. The manacle's probably already in his arm, the pitton's in the ground, but before he attaches it, he just quickly stands up and not runs, but very, very briskly walks over to the carriage.
As you get over there, it's a more, I guess, covert carriage. It's not decorated at all, though it was very much made in the village, as it does have some emblems on it. The big one that I guess that when you get close to it upon the wheels strikes you as being a little bit more disconcerting is it's not the watchman symbol, it's the dragon guard symbol. So it's Azariah's symbol upon the wheels of this carriage, where you see the sword has kind of been engraved into the spokes of the wheel, and the dragons have been coiled around it, around the centre eye, and then allowed to almost coil around the spokes as well.
Okay, is there any way to get into the carriage? I know you said it's been upturned, but it's possible to get in. There
is a way to get into it, yeah. You kind of see the door almost hanging off of its hinges as half of it's not even there. Inside looks almost like from preliminary grants, a scribe's carriage.
Any letter, any notation of why it's here?
You can find at least some notation with your stupid passive perception. The thing that also sets you off as well is perhaps this wasn't a scribe and perhaps someone a bit more important is alongside the letter and alongside the scribe's tools, you can also find empty sheaths for rather large weaponry.
More Eidolon's thought is, what the hell is this doing out here?
The letter that you can find that has been penned a lot more recently, though it would appear that it has never obviously been sent. Its owner is missing from the campsite.
Shocking.
Weird that. Even some parts of it you can see that they were in the middle of penning it, as some words, this is probably their third or fourth draft, have been scrawled out and rechanged. And this seems to be the draft that they've settled on, but they never finished penning it onto a more final document. As the letter is addressed and signed, as it reads, Azariah, you will need to forgive me, but I have now abandoned my search for Captain Daedalus in the north. I trust that those who have travelled south are still searching, but for now I must turn my attention to something else. I am travelling with a group of young men, who have told me of rumours of a ghost town near the Gildenfell Valley. It would appear the Scourge has travelled further than we originally thought, with the case in the Citadel no longer being isolated. I will report once I have reached Thornsgard. Signed, Argus Mentor.
Do I recognize the name?
You do, yes.
Who is he?
He is not one of Azariah's second-in-commands, because she wouldn't send those from the wall. However, Argus Mentor is, if it was a second, he would be the third.
And he's dead.
And he is, well, MIA.
Ah. Okay. They're looking for me. That's pretty... Fuck you, Paul.
What?
This is Paul's.
What's my fault?
Well, you fucking held me for ransom, you bitch.
Consider it Roderick's last spiteful act on Eidolon.
What, killing people? Okay. Is that about all that's on the carriage, though?
Other than a few personal artifacts that would have likely belonged to the Dragon Guard that lived in this carriage, yes.
So what, no bodies anywhere?
No bodies at all. Not even, you see even stepping out of the carriage, you can see the camp where they would have stayed. There's no bodies there either.
Okay. I will fold up and package the letter, and I'll include it as part of my request to eradicate Kenrine. That's just the second half of the letter, I presume. I'll pocket that, but if there's nothing else here, the closest thing I'd probably do is just take... I don't have my dagger anymore. In that case, I'd take Roderick's Warhammer, that I still have. Take the wheels and smash them, so that the sigil isn't perceivable anymore.
Fair enough. Give me a couple
So
of attack rolls.
I'm using the Warhammer, so it's forced to be my strength. I'm proficient in it, so it's +5. And luckily, I'm just hitting some wheels. How many?
Give me 2. We'll go front and back. 1 front, 1 back.
That's not too bad.
Cool.
Actually, have we had a short rest yet?
You will have had a short rest. Well, technically, you'll have had a long rest.
For the meme, I'm going to bump that 12 to a 18, because I'll be regaining my key points at the end of the rest anyway.
As you completely bend and crack and destroy the symbols on the wheels, moulding them into now just a contorted shape.
The boys who are not asleep yet, so I think it's just Ranigash, would just hear smashing noises off in the distance.
Yeah, for for already disturbed sleep, that is even more disturbing as you kind of hear the clanging of metal in the back of your head. Thankfully, it's not, sword through flesh, but it's still not great. Just this ringing of metal.
But yeah, that's about me for the night.
Before we get into your final day's travel, before we get into you guys arriving in Thornsgard, that morning, as you're all waking up, various different times to some breakfast, I need some dice from Matthew.
Oh, a d4 as well for my ring.
D4.
Which dice?
Your vision dice. And hopefully I don't get something stupid again. 2d4 and a d6.
Wolfric was up bright and early, the earliest. He cast Create Food and Water again, and is cooking.
He's
Cooking breakfast.
Eidolon
What
finds
do you have planned for us?
Eidolon finds it weird that someone else is up at the same time as him.
I mean, you never sleep, in fairness.
Yeah. Hence, he finds it weird that someone else is conscious at this time of night.
We don't really talk about the fact that Eidolon doesn't sleep.
He does sleep. It's just you can see it in some people in real life. They can get themselves into a state where they're awoken by the ever so slightest inclination of noise or movement, which is the closest thing to how he sleeps.
Yeah.
Roll me the dice, Matthew.
Just while I remember, should also roll my portent dice.
Yes, because you might need them. I will roll some
You know
dice.
what's about to happen when I was just like, "Can you roll me portents?
So
I have something planned for you."
Yo, and that one.
And that
Yeah.
one, that can be pretty poggers.
The 4s and that one. And we can bring this one back for a cheeky wee 13. So you've got a 12, a 13, and a nat 1. And then I've got a 4 and 2 3s.
Vision time.
4. No, 3, 4, 4. A d4, Matthew, if you would please.
4.
Max damage. I mean,
4.
4!
Matthew, do you know what all these dice mean, or do you kind of just leave it up to M to figure out?
I believe she did mention it in passing once, but I've never had a good proper look at the tables, which is I like it that way. You know, keeps it mysterious.
I'm aware she has a vision table, and I'm aware what some of the columns are, but I have no fucking clue what most of it means. I can just assume by the amount of visions Matthew's had now.
And I'm fairly certain at least one of the D4s is who it's about, but
Yeah.
that's just
I know a roll of a 1 usually leads to it being about me.
yeah.
That's what I've been able to work out.
Yeah, you are actually on a few of the tables. You are option 1 on 2 of the tables. So yeah, as your vision's not of Eidolon.
Yes.
Yay! As instead, your vision seems to be taking you to, well, you presume near the Gildenfeld, as the camp is suddenly surrounded by mountains, with mire slowly starting to seep in on the edge. It would appear that winter has started to set in, as it already has for your travels. You're starting to see the start of some snow as you're moving up north, and here it seems to start settling, the houses having this white dusting just over the roofs, where you're not too sure perhaps how far in the future you are, though it's definitely somewhere in the future, or at least you hope it's somewhere in the future, as Thornsgard seems to be in a state of repair. People seem to be moving around the town, fixing windows, fixing shingles, repairing buildings, giving them a bit of life by repainting and redecorating. You are in your own body, you are yourself wandering through town, and it seems to be quite a nice, pleasant atmosphere. You yourself, you feel a little bit older, and you almost feel like you're coming back to Thornsgard for something, meeting up with someone for something. You're not too sure what. Your brain can't put those connections together. Until you get to cardinal directions, the west side of town, where a small chapel has been decorated. It's been done up. Flowers have been very beautifully organised and created this kind of almost trail into the chapel, where outside there is Markusar, there is Wulfric. Wulfric looks very, very fashionable. Is he more of a kilt or a suit guy, Ewan?
He's a kilt guy.
He's a kilt guy. I thought so. As he's all done up in his kilt.
The calves are out, boys. The calves are out.
You can even see under his jacket, he's even let some of his tattoos out, only going for like a 3/4 length sleeve. He looks very, very fashionable.
In his socks, sorry.
He's currently being doted over by quite an aged woman, and a aged gentleman is standing by her side, trying to bat her away and tell her not to fuss. Quite clearly his parents. Some of his siblings are even there. You can see them heading into the church, as it appears that you have arrived in Thornsgard for Wulfric's wedding. Eidolon is all suited up. I imagine he's more of a suit guy.
Oh, almost definitely.
However, you notice that over his left-hand side, he's kind of almost, rather than wearing a jacket, he's got a cloak that's been fastened to one side and been left to drape over his left arm. And Markusar himself also looks very, very dapper, though has not exchanged the robes for a suit. Though the robes themselves look a little bit more up-to-do, they're not quite as plain and not quite as scraggly as what they are usually expected. As
Pure white linens.
the four of you enter into the chapel, everyone seems to take their seats, and music starts to have this low hum, where I guess this is for Ranagash, where a pleasant vision turns bittersweet. As I feel really bad, but it's technically what could happen. Good ending. Best outcome. As being led up by her father, though not walking, she is being wheeled up the aisle by her father, is Sophia. Her kind of almost fiery red hair being pulled back into braids, decorated elaborately with flowers. Her dress almost looks like it's been handmade and tailored, to the point that you can see under her dress, where she is wearing her shoes, one of her legs is gone and the other one is in a state of decay. You're not too sure how it occurred. Your brain can't find a connection or a memory to why that's the case, but that's how it looks. That's how it appears. As she walks up, I say she walks up, she's brought up with her father and stands at the aisle next to Wulfric, where you're not pulled out of the vision at all. Though for my boys, who are getting ready that morning, you are obviously pottering around, having breakfast, getting stuff sorted, and all of a sudden it seems to start snowing. Just within the kind of area, the radius of the camp. And then, almost instantaneously, the snow forms and turns into petals. Almost soft pink rose petals. As they fall on the ground and almost convene in a very, very strange but very, very purposeful way, as they all seem to trail and lead up to Wulfric, creating almost an aisle in front of him. The three of you will obviously be able to see this. They seem to be coming out of nowhere, though they seem to be very tangible, as a few of them fall on your shoulders, a few of them fall over the food, and they settle. They don't disappear. As it continues, you start to see shadows almost start to blur as faces, and they start to take forms of people. Wulfric, you can see some of your family members gathered around, kind of almost blurring in and out of existence. Though they look older, they look formal, as if they're at a gathering or an event of some kind. They all seem to be standing, looking at you in rows. And then from the hills, kind of coming up this flower trail, almost blurring into existence, you see her in a blurred form. You see her because of her hair. You see the red hair of Sophia, though she's not walking next to this figure that you can very clearly see is her father. She's being pushed in a wheelchair, as she is being pushed towards you with all of these people watching you. The three of you all experiencing this strange ceremony. Where, Ranagash, can you give me a constitution saving throw?
Wulfric starts crying.
And a wisdom saving throw, Ran.
You're near me, so you get a +4.
That is true.
They're both the same, so I'll just do it this way.
Which one's con, which one's wisdom?
Wisdom first, con second.
Nice.
So know which way did you tell me with them?
I
Was
told you
con then
con,
wisdom?
Con first. So yeah, con 18, wisdom 7.
Cool, so you are able to...
Well, it's a nat 1 on the 7.
Yep.
I hate
Another
when you do
nat
it 'cause
one
I can't see
wisdom
them. As with the constitution, as coming out of the vision, you are used to coming into the real world. However, when you come out of your vision this time, you come out onto the plains of Ellerant, you see these flower petals, you see this aisle, you see these blurred faces, these blurred figures. This is exactly how the chapel was set up when you saw Wulfric and Sophia together. But this is it almost projecting, trying to materialise as much as it can into the real world. You are experiencing this now in real time, as this is centred around Wulfric and happening to him, but it's not happened yet. It's still something that is going to happen or might happen. But it seems to be happening here. Then you almost feel a burning sensation that seems to travel from almost the side of your neck throughout your body like a pulse that then starts to rack your head where I need Eidolon, Markusar, and Wolfric to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
The +4.
Yep,
Yep, you still have Wolfric's bonus.
16.
What's your spell save DC, Ran?
Yeah, 16.
16, so 2 passes, 1 fail.
what have I been distracted by that I'm failing this? I'm supposed to be good at dex saves.
The fact that there's projections of ghosts just everywhere.
That's pretty distracting. If it's damage, I take half anyway.
Wolfric, don't you realise it's bad luck to see the bride before the wedding?
No, this is the wedding, Paul.
You all take 9 damage.
Fuck, we just woke up.
As Ranagash, you come back from this vision, you feel this burning sensation in your neck. For each and every one of you, you'll be able to see that each of the bodies start to erupt and explode. They push out in almost a wave of force. This almost purple fire that you are able to get out of the way of, but the bodies just seem to spark and ignite, almost turning into elementals, if only for a moment before dissipating entirely. Where, as the smoulders and ash lie across the ground, Ranagash, your mage armor activates. But you don't remember activating it. As for the 3 of you looking at him, as this fire just starts to run, trail, and almost start to gather in a circle around him and starts to ignite even more. Ranagash looks like he's wearing full plate, though it looks a little bit more translucent than that, if only for a second. As from head to toe, he is wearing full, almost black / purple-ish because of the hue of the magic, full plate armor with a full plate helm. That's, if only for an instant before it erupts and sparks into this wall of force that knocks you all back. It looks very similar to the mural that you all saw in the Temple of the Precursor.
What the fuck?
Where Ranagash, you take a few steps back, almost knocked back by the force yourself, but the mage armor is quite quickly dispelled after the flames completely erupt. And the camp is left that little bit toasty. Where, can you all give me a perception check?
Yes. Oh, I
18.
Add a +4 on mine, so that's the 23.
That's a 28.
Oh, the +4 isn't on top of that.
Oh,
it's
save,
only for
sorry.
savings.
It's only for
My bad.
saves, not checks.
Well, 19's still pretty good.
So Wolfric, here's a question. What kind of ring would you have gifted to Sophia as an engagement ring?
Something strong and practical. She really likes green and bronze and black, so it would be like an interwoven link of metals of green. Literally almost looks like the stem of a flower, but made of gold, of bronze and black and green interlacing. And the there's a little gem mounted in it, and the filigree metal that surrounds it looks like the head of a flower.
As Wolfric, you have not purchased Sophia her wedding ring. You have thought about it occasionally, what you would get her if you were wanting to, finally pop the question and propose. However, where her figure left off, where her figure was left standing, still sitting in the grass in the middle of a camp, is a small, very small and dainty ring that for Markusar, Eidolon and Wolfric, you can all see it. It is the almost Celtic band 3-toned metal being interwoven and wrapped, with the green metal being left to a very practical state to open out into the head of, well, what looks like an imitation rose, as it is just sitting on the ground where she once was, at least in this blurred state.
Can I pick it up?
Yep, it is tangible, it is real.
That saves some money.
Is that really your first thought after all of that?
My brain's running at a mile a minute.
What's happened is M's created a paradox. Who created the ring?
No one did. The magic
It's
created the ring.
It's always
It's
been
Ranagash's
there.
divination. Luckily, magic can solve a lot of paradoxes.
Ranagash's visions have grown stronger, and
I
if he's
imagine-
shown a future of some kind. Sophia's been hurt, but at least she's alive. Whatever's happened to her doesn't change how I feel.
Has Ranagash still got his armor?
Nope, that's when the kind of
Okay.
force erupted that completely dispelled.
Is Ranagash awake?
Yes, he looks a little bit winded though.
You're right, Ranagash.
Physically, yes. Mentally, I have questions.
I have so many questions as well, but I think we need to eat and get going. I have made breakfast. I'm in a very chipper mood today.
Ranagash, it's important for us to know we saw something physical appearing, but what were you seeing?
Was Ganta Wolfric notice I cannot see his marvelous calves anymore. Well, the wedding, I think?
It was, yeah.
Like my wedding?
Yeah. She has red hair? Yeah?
Yes.
White one? Yeah.
Sorry to disturb you, Ranagash, but we saw that too.
No, yeah, it did seem to bleed through a bit even when I was done.
Has that happened before?
No, that's a first. And looked down at his arm. The hell was that arm?
I can tell you something, it certainly looked familiar.
What's his name? The Scourge Lord?
Good enunciation on the D.
Give me some slack. That the orcish tongue doesn't have that kind of sound.
Adlon considers for a second. You see him open his mouth as he's about to say something, stops, and instead starts clearing up his stuff instead.
Yeah, we can eat on the way.
Poor Wolfric.
We don't even know what he's made yet.
He made there's bacon, there's a little bit of porridge, and then there's pancakes and there's syrup and fruit.
Can there be like banana pancakes? You know, like the ones that don't require eggs.
Yeah, there'll be a couple.
Yay. I can enjoy pancakes. Do bananas exist in Element? Let's find out.
Technically, it's magic. So a wizard
That's
done
magic,
it.
can be a wizard did it.
Wizard did it.
I mean, her brother, Sophia's brother, would have brought some fancy foreign stuff back whenever
That
he's
is
on
true.
shore leave.
He's probably
So he
travelled
would have
to
seen
know.
one.
Noel has bananas.
You said it was like snowing and it like manifested into petals and stuff like that. Is it still kind of snowing or?
No, what is left on the ground where anyone was standing or wherever any of the petals fell, it's now turned to ash.
I was more concerned that Markusar doesn't have any cold weather clothes.
Well,
I
you're
grew up
going
in the very-
north.
I grew up in the very warm south. What can you tell? What can I say? What does any of this mean? Why did Ranagash look like that guy?
It means his powers are growing stronger, I guess.
One way to put it. Is this going to be a regular thing? Will we all be able to see your visions?
guess it's as good as
hope
mine.
not.
Respectfully, you hope.
That's fair.
It's
Right.
just down to whether or not we have a choice. As Adlon's probably finished putting things away into his bag and bandaging up his sword.
Right. We best get going.
Yeah.
As chowing down and getting back to travelling, we're coming to the start of next session as we end for tonight on mystery, heartbreak and whimsy, with possible hopefulness and some sorrow for Wolfric's future. We end for tonight with you guys arriving in Thornsgard next week, finally getting to see what's happening in the small town, and Markusar's going to get fucking cold because it's winter.
And I can't wear furs. Or leather or anything. I'm screwed. I just have to layer up.
Just gotta layer up.
Yeah, I'm gonna show up in a big duffel coat.
We are finished for tonight, and I need to double check something because I can't remember if it's this session or later on.
You say it's bye from me, and it's bye from my boys.
No, I need
Well,
to
because
check.
she's not done yet.
I'm checking if you're leveling up, Paul. Hush!
Oh, sorry.
No, you're not leveling up.
Maybe we just
I'm
leveled up.
at.
Your progression for levels gets a little bit funky after this because I need you guys to be at certain levels going into certain different encounters. Hence, I needed to check because I couldn't remember if it was this session, but it's a couple of sessions from now. You guys will level up.
We start getting strong.
Excellent. Oh, that's so good because you know how I just realized something. You know how you know how Radagash's fear or like his madness manifests as like he has to roll against being frightened. Next level, if he's within 10 feet of me, he physically cannot be frightened.
Just hug
Oh,
Wolfric.
aura of courage!
Be in my aura
hug
of
him.
courage.
Wow, this party just says no to being charmed or frightened.
My problem with
She's
this
like-
party, right? I can't inflict status conditions upon you guys because you can get rid of them really quickly, and you inflict too many status conditions upon me, so I've got too much to keep track of.
Results to attacking us emotionally.
Yes.
During the combat, I was tempted to use Rave Enfeeblement, so you would have damage on everything.
I don't like math. That really hurt. As now, Paul, rushing me to finish this episode, absolutely shocking. It is now goodbye from me since I've checked my notes, and it is goodbye from my boys.
Bye.